It's episode 645 of the charity working class bowhunter podcast. Sorry about that. Kurt Geyer speaking.
Eric Hammond.
Doug Schmidt.
Moving right along the table, right in the middle. Handsome man from Central Iowa, allegedly.
Chris B.
What's up, man? Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me out, man.
Yeah, thanks for making the drive.
Yeah.
This episode's been a long time coming, I feel like.
Yeah, we've crossed paths a lot. We've talked about it a couple times, and then we're like, you know what? Pick one of these dates.
It's time.
Like, how about this one?
Yeah. So thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Moving down the line,
Jordan Jepson,
a.k.a.
young boy.
Young boy.
How are you, buddy? You're sitting next
good.
to like one of the idols of your game, right?
Yep.
You fanboying him?
Yeah, a little
Fanboying?
bit.
Can we just embarrass you real quick and like put you on blast in front of your like one of your idols?
Go for it.
Young boy is pretty excited that you're here.
Yeah, dude.
We're all excited, but young boy especially.
It's a normal kid.
I love the
started
videos.
Started making videos, man.
Jordan said, I've watched all of his videos.
How many times have you watched the Kansas buck?
A lot. That's one of my favorites.
That's a one. Yeah.
We'll give you your chance, Jordan, to just spill out your guts.
Yeah, keep it in your pants. We got to keep moving.
Okay.
Moving around the table, we're mixing it up again with the legit lady of the game.
Kaitlyn Moss.
Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks for being here.
Kind of last minute deal. I didn't know I was going to be on here.
Yeah, I was like, come on with it.
Well, when you invite yourself, we have to have you on.
Why not?
No, I will tell you that we've had someone in particular that's wanted us to have you on for a long time. Should we call him out?
Sure, why not?
Mark Jury has done nothing but give you high praise.
Marky Mark.
Marky Mark.
So thank you guys both for making the haul out to us
We love
in
Mark.
studio. So
Yeah.
you guys got the depot experience.
Oh, yeah. The full working class bow hunter experience. Yeah.
That's right. It's kind of like a nice spot, huh?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's more than a bar.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
it is.
sure.
It's a home.
Fantastic. It's if you rated it on bar food scale, it's like a 10 out of 10. The service there at the end was a little slow.
Got busy.
I will say that.
One
It got
server.
busy.
It's usually not
Maybe-
like that, though.
Maybe it got bumped down to a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Just 'cause of
It's
that.
a nice steakhouse of bars.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It's a
Fantastic.
Good way to put it.
And the fact that you can just go right there.
You can walk
and
there.
back.
Yeah.
They made that little, what would be a gazebo.
Gazebo, yep.
Caitlyn decided she didn't want to walk through it. She was too good to walk through, so she
I got to
walked
get my
around.
steps in.
Okay, okay.
Right.
Good excuse, but no, thank you guys for coming to us in
Yeah, man.
studio. It means a lot.
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to this episode. You're both you guys, highly requested guests for WCB. And
Oh, right on.
It's not happened in 644 episodes.
Yeah.
So thank you again.
man.
I'll get those out of the way.
We shouldn't make this its last either, you know? I mean, we're just 3.5 hours or whatever. It was quick. Zip on over. It was good, man.
We'll keep it rolling. You guys are doing the damn thing, both of you.
Trying.
And I know there's a lot of hustle in it, but like, what's it like? You guys are big names. You guys are top tier, in my opinion. I think everybody else here and our listeners in the YouTube world of hunting and archery. And what's that like? Do you feel like you're top tier? Like what?
You know, even to a point with young boy here, it's like I really started just making videos, enjoying it. I never had an end goal to make this a career, to make this a thing until it started kind of taking off on its own. And then I was like, okay, there maybe could actually be something here. I think people, well, we're going to start with the origin story.
Let's get into it, brother. Yeah. We can do anything.
Well,
we own the show, actually. So
yeah, that's good. That's good. Early on, my dad was a Michigan bow hunter. I grew up in Michigan, classic Michigan bow hunter, you know, and he got me my first bow when I was 6. Started shooting it a little bit. Shot my first deer with the bow when I was 10.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Young.
And a little 6-point. Shot another deer with the bow when I was 11. I've shot a deer with the bow every single year since. I'm 27 now.
No kidding.
Every single year I've shot a deer with the bow.
It's a pretty good record.
Awesome.
That's
Since I was 10.
wow.
Which is great. A lot of the hard work to my dad, you know, early on, like getting me set up, ground blind, really close, food plot, like making the setup for kids to really enjoy it. I think really got me hooked really early on, which I'm a huge advocate of making sure that it's a good experience for kids early on. So many people can have such a bad experience in the outdoors just because of that one situation, that one time. So I think my dad really did a good job on that early on. You know, he took me turkey hunting. He took me, you know, typical Michigan outdoors, you know, type of guy.
Yeah.
So right along that same time, I got really into archery and stuff. I got my first compound bow when I was 8 years old. And then I shot my deer when I was 10. And then right around that same time, I started shooting at Livingston Conservation Sports Association in Michigan, which was a youth program, a youth archery program where you go in. I was actually borrowing a bow when I first did it, like borrowing a bow to shoot in close little targets. And I mean, there was like 100 some kids that would show up on Saturday morning and shoot.
No kidding. That's awesome.
Yeah, whole families came in. And,
Wow.
Really cool program. So I started doing that, and that really opened my eyes at a very young age that, hey, like I really enjoyed this. So I got my own bow, started doing that, and then I think I was 12 years old when I shot my first tournament. There was like a local tournament. It was like a little tiny state, little regional thing. And I shot that, and I was like, dang. I was like, I came in second place, but there's 2 people.
Oh yeah, nice.
2 people.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So I still have
Made podium.
I still have
If you ain't first, you're last.
little tiny medal.
Yeah, hell yeah, nice.
So I was like, okay, like this is cool. So did that. I think I like upgraded my bow, which was like a huge deal, you know, just like a little bit better hunting bow, you know. Started shooting that. Like I did well. 13 came around, 14 came around. 14 years old, I got my first target bow, like a hand-me-down type target bow, long stabilizers, a little bit better arrows, you know, that sort of deal. And one of our first big tournaments was a national tournament in Pennsylvania. We drove out there as a family. And I did really well. I like placed second or third or something in that as a young gun, little youth division, whatever. But it kind of, you know, ingrained that into my mind that it was possible or whatever. And the next year we made a big investment. We actually flew out to California to try for a world trial event for the United States archery team. And my sister and I, we both did it. My sister was a year older. So the way the divisions work as a youth, it's like just like 2 or 3 years per division, and then you bump up. So my sister was in a division older, which was in the like ranking to make the United States team. The younger division was not. So my parents are like, hey, like your sister wants to go do this, try this, whatever. It's like, do you want to try to shoot up? I was like, yeah, sure. You know,
So
why
like
not?
get in her division.
Yes, correct. So, you know, there's male and female, but then there's age divisions. So I was 14 shooting in a 15 to 17-year-old division, and there was a bunch of people at this event. You know? And I ended up being the
huge.
Yeah, I ended up
not
being the
just 2?
alternate, so I was 4th place.
No
I
kidding.
was like, damn. I was like, this actually maybe could be something.
I'm kind of good.
Yeah, you know,
Kinda good.
well, that was, you know, that was kind of that moment, and I was like, okay, well, maybe we could do this. So, you know, a lot of props to my family for everything, to traveling around, because then it became like travel baseball.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it was
Yep.
like travel
But way
all-
cooler for the record.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Baseball's gay.
Probably not.
I'm just
You know,
kidding.
baseball's cooler. Like, come on.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
You're being
Not
nice.
nice.
Let me be the bad guy. Baseball's gay. I'm just kidding. I don't believe
I
that.
will say this: the National Archery in the Schools program, attendance-wise, is larger than Little League baseball.
I love that.
in the schools.
Hold on. Let me see if I got the right button.
Yeah.
Is it the right one, Eric? Yeah, okay. There we go. There we go. I got them both right.
That's a tangent. We'll get there. So I did that game. I made like, I don't even know, 5 or 6 United States archery teams in a row, like nationally every year through my youth divisions. I did really well in my youth. Like it was my life. Like I shot. That's how I got my foundation of how well I shoot now.
Yeah,
was
that's
back
cool,
then.
man.
I mean, I just plowed arrows all day long. I mean, it was all I did. So going into later years,
And you never found yourself getting burnt with it? Like, did you feel forced to do it? You
for
were-
sure. Yeah.
Oh, burnt.
I mean,
You really
Oh,
did.
for sure. Yeah. I think it's any sort of classic during your school year sport. You know, you got pressures from all angles.
Mom, Dad, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. You know, paying for the trips, needing to do well. The classic. You
And
know,
the thing with archery is you can do it all year long.
you can do it all year long. You
It's
just-
not like
You never got a break.
football or
you switch
baseball.
to
Or
yeah, you just switch to indoor and you switch to outdoor. So luckily
Exactly.
we had that Livingston Conservation Place, 20-yard indoor range right down the road. So, I mean, I was there all the time. So anyways, like 16 rolled around, and it was time to kind of make the decision. Do I want to stay in a lower division or do I want to move up in division? So I was 16 years old and I decided to start shooting pro. So it's like
At 16.
at 16. And so the biggest tournament of the year, biggest indoor tournament of the year is the Vegas Shoot. It's in Las Vegas, Nevada. A bunch of people, I mean, 3,000-4,000 people show up. It's like, it's the show. So it's kind of like, you know, I'm doing okay. Like, might as well do it now, you know, better late than never sort of thing. So I did it. And it's a 3-day event. You shoot.
So do you just decide to go pro?
Yeah.
Or do you have to like meet a qualification to go pro? It's like BMX
Let me
racing.
put this on record. You need to have a couple $100 to be pro.
Okay.
You could say you're pro tomorrow nearly. You do not.
I just might just to say it. What's
saying,
up?
saying that you're a professional in the sport of archery does not require nearly anything. I think there's a really low qualification score, but it's comical.
Yeah, so it's like
really
I grew up BMX racing, and that was like the same thing. You go A pro or double A pro.
Yeah.
You go A pro, and you just are gonna get mopped up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not saying you're going to win if
Yeah.
you go, but
you're a pro.
You can pay $500 to volunteer your money and go shoot, sort of deal. You know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And say you're pro.
And to say you're pro, and you have those guys, you know. But
You
anyways,
still do that?
oh,
Hey, you know what?
That's
I can name
what I
like 4
still do.
dudes now that I just like was like, oh fuck yeah, that dude's been saying he's pro forever. Fuck that guy.
You just believe, like, oh shit.
Yeah, I know guys like, oh yeah, when I had my pro card, it's like, bitch, you paid $200 for that pro.
Exactly. It does not, you know.
You made that at Kinko's. What's up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, funny. Thanks for that tidbit.
Yeah, I don't like glorifying that, man. I mean, it's really not. It's great. It's great for the sport, but the entry level into the pro division is zip.
Well, but you did. But I think what you're getting at is you leveled your game up by putting yourself at
So,
16
yeah.
with the big dogs.
So continuing on from there, you know, 16, I was doing good, and I went and did this tournament. No sponsors, no nothing. And it's a 3-day event. You shoot 30 arrows per day. To make this end shoot off, you have to shoot clean. It's all 10s. All 90 arrows, you have to shoot a 10. So first day I shot clean. Second day I shot clean. It wasn't until the 7th end of the 3rd day that I dropped one. And by that point, there was only like 16 people left out of nearly 1,000 people.
So you're doing good.
So we did really, I did really,
did
really
good.
good. Did really, really good. Got a lot of attention. At that point, I got a Hoyt sponsorship. Dude,
They just saw it and were like, oh, hey, dude.
at the time it was Mike Looper, which is the VP of marketing, and we kind of talked a little bit, but he's like, dude, you're killing it. He literally walked down and handed me like a pro staff jersey.
Oh,
No kidding.
Yeah, which was like,
Is that like the Super Bowl moment?
kind of, yeah, it was
Yeah.
like the moment for me where I was like,
Proving.
Yeah.
You know, really proving
like,
yourself.
this is sweet. Like, my name wasn't even on it. I don't even know. I don't know if it was like they had some pro staff jerseys there just for kind of people like in those situations or
Yeah.
moment, but
Shining stars.
yeah, but like a no-name pro staff jersey, it was kind of like, oof, okay. But
Like a scout, you know? Like
little
That's
bit.
cool,
Yeah,
man.
probably.
That's a good
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, I don't really talk about it too much, but yeah, then, you know, that happened, and then I just kind of continually shot, and then graduated high school. Well, actually, let's back up a little bit. In high school, I started shooting National Archery in the Schools program. So I did not start in the National Archery in Schools program, but people think that I did. I did not, but I did start it, and I did very, very well. I placed at nationals a couple times, worlds a couple times, went to South Africa for it.
Damn.
Made some all-star teams. I really think my career in NASP was a lot harder than a career elsewhere. It is very, very, very difficult to do very well shooting a NASPO because you have, at nationals, you have 15,000 kids all shooting the same format, all shooting the same score, all shooting the same bow, all in the same division, nearly, all said and done. And so when you come out of 15,000 kids, you come in 4th place.
That's wild.
It's wild.
that is wild.
So when I did that a couple times, like through high school and stuff, I was like, dang, I was like, this is more impressive than anything I've ever done.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, super, you know, fun, successful on that front. And then I went to Michigan State. Michigan State's got a great program, great archery program. Started shooting collegiately through them. So we traveled around kind of as a crew.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do a lot of schools offer that?
Not a lot of
archery?
schools offer it. It should be more of a thing than it is. You just don't get school funding a lot of times.
Oh, so it's
So-
got to be like a separate
It's
thing.
a club. It's technically
club,
a
yeah.
club, and you know the incentives that they would give students is like, hey, if you're going to come from out of state, we'll give you in-state tuition. It was kind of like the go-to. So like Texas A&M, I think was the only varsity sport at the time that was archery, and they would give that in-state tuition. But I mean, it was a big swing for Texas and Texas A&M. So a lot of kids came to Texas A&M to get that in-state tuition.
Do you feel like it's becoming a bigger and bigger thing?
I think it's getting smaller.
Smaller, you think
Yeah,
so?
I think when
Interesting.
I think when I was there, it was kind of like, dang, like, you know, we had 30, 40, 50 some people traveling as a team with us. We had like 100 people that shot on the club. It was booming. And like now it's like I kind of follow them on social media and stuff. And it's like they have like 10, 5 people kind of traveling around and stuff. So
You know what it is?
It
Went the wrong way.
fluctuates. So
Crossbows.
can we tab that for like that 1 hour?
Yes, yes.
The
We'll
1
wait.
hour
Okay.
mark?
It's the only option.
Tidbit in. I just got a look from the lady over here. All right, we'll set that aside. We'll come back to that.
So yeah, college was cool. Went to Taipei to shoot on the World University Games, which is like it's the Olympics for college. Like they build the apartment complex and put a fence around it, and you got a key card to scan in and out of it.
No kidding.
Nope. Whoa.
Yeah, it was kind of a big deal. It was cool. I did like trash. I shot terrible.
Oh no.
Yeah. And then we found this little Taipei little bar the rest of the time because we had nothing left to do.
No kidding.
Yeah, we were like,
Drank for cheap.
well, the problem was like you go there for 12 days or 11 days or whatever it is, and you shoot every day to keep going.
So
Oh,
it's like
shit.
you qualify every day.
It's a qualifier event at the beginning, and then that ranks you for it's a basketball bracket beyond that, pretty much. So if you get out,
You're fucked.
I mean,
You're
there's still
stuck there.
5 days of shooting.
Yeah.
So we were like, what do we do?
You're over there getting massages from Asian chicks. And I don't know where Taipei is. It just sounds like it's close to Thailand.
It was cool, man. I mean, we saw the world's like tallest building or the second tallest building. I mean, it was cool. It was a great experience, great eye opener. Like in college,
Yeah, that's
like,
cool.
Travel
Yeah.
around doing stuff. Yeah, really, really cool. And then I like made a couple other USA teams and stuff through high school and college, and then in college, I like to say I had
So
no.
at this point, sorry to cut you off, but in the buildup of all this, like you've done all this, you've had like a resume.
Mm-hmm.
But you show up to these shoots and people are like, Chris B.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you're like,
But different.
Yes.
You know,
thank you.
Yes, they do.
It's kind of why I glanced that direction a little bit. It's like,
yeah.
because you have to be known of like, this dude.
Yeah,
good.
It's a community too. You know,
Yeah.
it's a really good community. It's kind of like a traveling band of pros. And
Did that add pressure to you during that time? It was like, people are
So-
expecting me to shoot better because of that.
Yeah. So I kind of went through a couple cycles or phases, I guess. It's like I really wanted to shoot professionally at one point in my life. Like that's what I wanted to do. So I had all that pressure on me. And now it's like I don't even care if I don't care if I'm last place anymore.
Really?
Oh yeah, I don't care.
Just got through it.
Well, it's different now. It's different. You're younger. One of my great coaches, George Riles down in Atlanta, he's like, you will not realize it, but until later in life, you have so many pressures when you're 18 to 20 years old trying to do a professional sport. You have all these pressures in the world. You have no income. You have no real anything set. You are trying to make yourself.
Yeah.
He said, there's no greater pressure than this moment right now. Like
You tell me this now.
well, you know what I'm saying? You have nothing to lose, but you also have everything to gain.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's this weird spot. So there was like
the big transition of your life.
incredible pressure. And honestly, I did really good for a couple years and then it crashed. Like I didn't do super well because I had so many pressures and everything. And then all this other stuff, came on and about. And I was like, screw it. And now, honestly, I showed up to Vegas this year and I was clean the first 2 days. I was like, screw this. I'm never practicing ever again. This is like no pressure or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, the tournament archery world, the archery world is so interesting that like, guys like you, bow hunting guys, they don't know about,
Yeah. Dude, I would have
Zero idea.
I would have killed to known about that though, man. Because I remember being in high school, like I had another activity the same time as I did bow hunting.
Yeah.
But bow hunting's limited, and I did other sports. But I'm like, I didn't have that. Well, I didn't know about it.
It's
so
fantastic. So
if I could have, maybe I would have done it.
I don't think we had it
But
either.
that's like when I went to school, we didn't have they have like trap shooting now. They have archery. They have like all this other
Bass fishing. A lot of schools.
bass
have now,
fishing.
too,
Like we didn't have any of that shit when
Zero.
I went to school, So it was like
yeah.
if we did, I probably would have been more involved with school.
I mean, I think it all depends on who the coaches are, and I mean, it's very those things are so core.
Yeah.
You got to have the right people in those communities to really propel it.
Yeah.
I went to Heartland High School. It's like my main coach, Rob Jellison. He was the guy. Like if he was not there, none of this ever would have been possible.
Yeah.
It's like you have this one guy being like, okay, I'm going to dedicate my life to make sure this organization is booming and correct. It's so tough. It's so tough to make something.
Shout out to that
happen.
guy.
That's just
Yeah,
the
man.
legacy of that guy.
And now it's like that high school is, I mean, they boom and they've had a lot of good shooters out of it. It's kind of like, archery is such a huge mental thing, as you know.
Yeah.
It's anything in performance, any sort of sport. The bar is constantly being raised. So it's like we had a couple kids at Heartland do well, and then it proved that, I go to the school. I also can do well.
Right.
And it propelled, I mean, we've won nationals as a school. We've done all sorts of stuff as a school. And still to this day, I think we're ripping. So it's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool to see that. And it's such a mental thing. And Even
pretty cool.
Yeah, even archery as a whole, I think, has really set me up mentally to just deal with things in life and everything.
So how did bow hunting balance during that time with that? Like, was it challenging to bow hunt while also trying to like be 16 and be a pro?
I've been a bow hunter since day one. I've not been a target shooter since day one. I got into target and I, in some way, have gotten out of target again.
So bow hunting's primary,
Always.
target's secondary.
100%. Yeah. So I bow hunted my, all throughout my middle school, high school. I mean, I shot it since I was 14. I think it was 14 or 15 until just recently. Every single deer I killed with the bow was on film.
Oh, wow.
Damn. It's like 60 some deer.
That's wild, dude.
That's insane.
Self-filmed. Someone filmed me. I was very dedicated since I was like 14.
Damn.
And just recently, it was 2 years ago when I went to South Dakota, I was like, I'm just going to go like with the boys sort of deal.
And you didn't film?
No, I didn't film it.
No kidding.
Did you enjoy it?
I loved it.
Did you?
It's nice, isn't it?
It's tough, It's like you get caught up in this stuff and you get stressed out, and especially earlier on, like 3-4 years ago, when it's like, oh, this is kind of something, you get really stressed out. And now I'm kind of dialing it back down. Of course, Kaitlyn could probably confirm this, but like November 1 rolls around and I'm like, just running around, my head cut off.
I mean, me too. So it's kind of.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough not to get in that way. But yeah, man, I was really dedicated in my younger years. I'm 27, but I've been doing this since I was 14. Is how I like to put it.
It's a hustle, dude.
So it's like a lot of these guys, these younger guys, are like, how do you go so fast? It's like, you don't. Like, it takes 10 some years to really get a foundation. So I've been making videos, I've been filming and everything since so young. I've been shooting since so young. I did not have a party college life. I stayed up all night learning how to edit, learning how to make websites, learning how to do business stuff. All through high school. I mean, I jammed out in my younger years, and I've never had a real job. So I just
yeah. What does that mean? Because like we were bullshitting at our bar here, in our studio.
The only semi-real job I had was coaching at the Michigan State Archery Club, part-time.
But I don't want people like, okay, people are gonna hear that, even though you like emphasize the hustle, like, and you chose to do other things while all of our dumbasses were drinking and doing that, whatever. I feel like just because, all right, the standard like working class mindset at a general level, are the type of dudes to be mad at me for doing this full time, be mad at Jimmy John for being a billionaire, even self-made. But it's like people don't understand the amount of work
and the hustle
that you're actually putting in. Like, you're working your ass off.
Yeah.
But you've worked your ass off to do what you want to do from the rip.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you had a more fortunate beginning to have the foundation, but you recognized it and formulated a hustle off of it, right?
Kinda. I mean, I bought everything I've ever used. I bought every camera myself. I bought all these trips. I mean, I was ripping balances on credit cards early on.
Yeah.
To make it happen,
Who was your first sponsor ever? Was it the Hoyt deal?
Hoyt, yeah.
No kidding. What was that like when you got that like first deal? Like
it was just bows, and it was awesome.
Handing you bows.
Oh yeah. It was just bows, and it was awesome. Okay, so diving in more, I worked with Hoyt, and then in college I had an internship and actually ran their social media accounts for 2 years.
No kidding.
So I got a really good relationship with those guys, and learned a lot through that and stuff. So yeah, I've kind of like worked in it. I think the really way you get ahead too is you just are multifaceted. It's like you learn about everything. So I worked in there. I ran their social medias, learned a lot and stuff. And then when I exited from them is when I started working for Matthews, just working with Matthews.
Very cool. And you've worked with them since
5 years now. Yeah.
Awesome. Dude, I love the background story of it, because
the origin story.
It's nothing but hard work.
Right.
Like, it wasn't like you're like this rich kid that's like, oh yeah,
No.
look, I made a YouTube video and people like
I'm really
me.
good at shooting a bow.
Yeah.
What made you want to film at 14?
I really enjoyed the process.
Okay.
Like, I was the kid that was filming
Everything,
stuff in like their family, video camera. And I enjoyed filming hunts and watching them and putting them together. I really enjoyed editing. I still enjoy editing. I don't have enough time to edit.
Right.
But for the longest time, I was doing everything. So I learned, just self-taught myself.
In that age, who was like some of your like top influences? Like at 14, 15, 16, 17?
That young, probably like a Heartland Bolt Hunter.
Oh yeah.
For their video, level of everything. I don't know, man. We've gone on this. It's like I admire certain things about certain people, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you take angles from it.
Yeah.
So, okay, you're 27.
Yeah.
So that's a hustle from 14 to 27, killing it. Now I'm going to transition here. All right, so when did you meet Kaitlyn?
We met in 2019.
Doing what?
ATA
show. Kaitlyn slipped into my DMs.
Let's back up.
Here's a real story.
Sorry, that was my moment. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. Hey, it sounded great, dude. If we stop the podcast right now, you're the fucking man. I'll cut that clip. And then
That's how you remembered it. Right?
That's how I remember.
yeah, that's how it should be. That's right.
I mean, that is true, but we did meet in person at ATA. Chris walked up to me, and I actually had a boyfriend at the time, so it was very casual.
Dang.
Yeah.
Just a handshake and a high five.
Well, no, it was kind of a like,
Love at first
hey,
sight.
how are you? And I was like, good. And I didn't know who he was. Like, I literally just happened to see one of his videos like the week before, just by chance. And I was like, you look really familiar. And he goes, oh, yeah? Like, where have you seen me? And I'm like, I feel like I've seen you like on YouTube or something. He's like, oh, yeah, I do YouTube or whatever. And I was like, oh, that's where I've seen you. And he goes, did you subscribe?
Nice.
So I always say that's like his like pickup line.
Hey, it
He was
worked.
like, hey, did you subscribe?
Tell me it didn't work though.
Apparently.
She's here, right?
I didn't.
I don't recommend.
She's telling the story.
I don't recommend. Yeah.
I didn't, though. I didn't subscribe at that
You
point.
didn't.
You still don't?
She still doesn't yet.
Out of principle.
The faithful woman.
So yeah, anyway,
she doesn't
we
let
didn't.
me that down.
We didn't.
Yeah, but
really
we
talk for a
connected
year.
there, and then we just stayed in touch or whatever, and then
And then I slid in the DMs
Oh,
like a year later.
that's
Yep.
fair. That's fair.
and then we did long distance for a year and stuff, and then we were like, oh, it's like if I'm gonna move to Iowa.
Well,
So
backtrack more because this was like during COVID. Now we're in
Oh,
2020.
yeah.
2020 ATA, we kind of like reconnected, and then obviously everything went south, and so with COVID hitting in like March, April, it was turkey season, and he's like, "Oh, just come to Michigan," because I wasn't working, so I was like, I have nothing else.
Where were you at this time?
Kansas City,
Okay.
and so he was like, "Just come up. We'll shoot a turkey in like 2 days, couple days.
Got
We'll
a
just
bunch
hang
of them.
out." And I was like, "All right, cool."
Yeah, hang out.
Just
yeah.
hang out.
I literally lived at his house with his parents for a whole month because it didn't matter what we did, we could not seem to kill a turkey. So I don't know if that was just like
so now
fate.
now we say it was fate. Yeah.
Fate.
That's a good play, brother. I like that. I got no
Bunch of
turkeys.
These turkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with these turkeys.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, and you're a stud, bro.
Man, you jumped right in and lived with the in-laws for a month.
It was so crazy, but
Whoa.
they're so nice. Like,
we-
it just worked out.
That's Riz on another level, as the kids would say.
So it was
Turkey Riz.
I took over my sister's room to work out of, and I did all my merch and everything out of there. So we would ship out all my merch and everything out of my sister's room. Yeah, dude, it was
all right.
the evolution of the business. Yeah.
So in 2019, were you already filming, doing the thing, all that stuff on your own deal? You know, like I know you're self-made. You're your own woman. I'm giving you credit there.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to get the background of like where ships collide here a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, really, like, I mean, ATA, I had gone ATA, I want to say maybe 2 years prior to like meeting him. So I was kind of already getting started. Like overall, I would say maybe I'm a few years behind Chris as far as like content and everything. But 2019, I had a video go viral on YouTube, and that was kind of my like, oh, I can do this moment. Like this is maybe something. So 2019, I would say, is kind of like really my big push. And then, I mean, we just kind of happened to meet that year. But I was filming and stuff prior to knowing him. So
Very cool. Yeah. That's cool the way that all kind of fell into place. So then you guys, okay, from in-law turkey hunt, Michigan to
Long distance for a year, and then now we live in Iowa. Yeah.
so you guys were just like, hey, Chris, all right, let me guess how this went.
She subscribed after a while.
Okay, subscription.
yeah.
You've seen that come across, you're like, yes.
Got you, bitch. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
So that just comes out of me sometimes. My apologies. With all due respect.
I'm not easily offended. You're fine.
It's Tourette's.
Well, yeah, I got a disability. So So let me guess. Chris goes, let's move to the Nashville of hunting, or the LA of hunting.
I hate that, but
Des Moines.
so I went hunting. I'll explain on this.
You know I'm kind of right at that
It's the hub.
analogy.
It's the hub of hunting.
I went hunting in a place in Iowa. My dad put in points for me since I was like 12. So when I was 16,
Your dad's a gangster, bro.
yeah, when I was 16, we went hunting with Iowa. It's one of his work buddies owned a farm down there, and I was like, "This is Disneyland."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to come here. Yeah.
So ever since I was 16, I was like, I probably one day will live here. So when we were like, yeah, we're gonna move somewhere, she doesn't want to go to Michigan, and I'm like, if I'm gonna move, I'm gonna go to Iowa.
We kind of meet in the middle.
Yeah,
Because I was
yeah.
in Kansas, and I mean, I love Kansas. Like, I was on the Kansas side of Kansas City, so I was fine staying there. But he's like, I'm not moving to Kansas. You can only shoot one buck there. So I was like,
Okay.
all right, I guess we're moving somewhere. And I was not going to Michigan. So,
Are you originally from Kansas?
no, I'm from Pennsylvania.
How the hell did you get in Kansas?
What the hell?
Dude, there's a gnat in here that needs to die. Get it.
I saw it.
You got it, I think. God,
No,
you're
it's
right.
right here.
Kill the fucking thing. It's now warm, and we've had the
think I
doors
missed
open, and they're infiltrating.
Coming alive. Yeah.
Okay, so you're from Pennsylvania. All right, hold on. Let me back way
I was
up.
gonna say,
I was not
if you
expecting
wanna-
that.
If you want to get on finish his train, we can.
Well, here, I might offend you both.
okay.
You
two
will
worst-
not- You will not offend.
Let me
either of
guess
us,
the
I'll
two
tell you
worst
that.
hunting states.
Yeah, hold on.
How did I know?
The 2 states, and we can unfold. We'll put this in the file folder for like unfolding here.
There's like
once we
12
get
things
us-
in there now.
Oh, I'm gonna forget them all.
It's stacked.
You need a pen and paper.
I know. Look at that. PA,
nothing
Michigan,
written down.
yeah, Riz, DMs. Okay. You guys are both from states that all claim that's the hardest states to
worst,
hunt.
yeah.
So you guys meet. There's some sort of like, is there an aggression there? The Michigan attitude and the PA attitude. Does that?
No.
No.
Because you guys are both
She,
smart enough.
like, I don't know.
no,
It seems like it.
No, there's just more Amish where she's from.
Oh,
that is
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Tax evasion.
More
Love a good tax
More
evasion.
crossbows and Amish where she's from. There's just more rednecks from where I'm
Okay, crossbows. That's something that's bothering
There's
him.
a lot of rednecks.
There's
from
a
there.
lot of
That
rednecks.
comment's bothering Crispy. Crossbows. We'll get to that.
PA
here in a little
equals
bit.
crossbows.
PA.
Someone just
Michigan.
asked me that today.
It was me earlier
No.
in the episode.
This morning.
It was 5 minutes.
Over coffee. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. We'll get to that coffee.
He likes coffee.
So, all right. PA, Michigan. This is making a lot of sense. This is adding up.
Okay.
If anything, we have more in common as far as like our mentality, I think, because we both struggled as far as hunting growing up, I would say. But
Yeah,
now
yeah.
it's like we have something we can relate to, and now we're hunting Iowa, so it's like kind of that.
So now it's easy.
Yeah.
Well, no.
not
That's easy.
not easy.
That's when you get
160
into
around
those-
every tree, right?
Statistically, I get what you're saying, though.
Not easy, but I guess we have the same mindset, kind of. I guess
Yeah.
about
But
how to do things.
Kaitlyn went to college in Missouri. So then that kind of,
Okay.
yeah.
So that I was like near Kansas City, so that's kind of why I was just in that area for a few years, and I moved to the Kansas side so I could get residency and didn't have to draw
Your
because I
lifetime
worked
tag.
in Kansas City, so then I could hunt both sides, and it just worked out.
Yeah, because Missouri's over the counter. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, no, it makes a ton of sense.
I
So,
was thinking on that one.
how did you get into hunting? Like from the rip?
My dad, he's a really big whitetail hunter. He never bow hunted though. It was all rifle, and I shot my first deer when I was 12. But I mean, like, I've been out with him since I could walk, basically, because my dad actually worked night shift. My mom would work during the day, so he would go hunting during the day, obviously. Well, he wasn't going to leave me at home. He took me along, so that was just kind of like, I was just there.
Very cool.
So, yeah, I grew up with it, and when I was 14, crossbows, this is where the crossbow look came from.
Yeah.
Crossbows became legal in PA as, like, archery. So, me being young and my dad not knowing anything about just regular archery, he got me a crossbow, and so like him and I kind of learned how to like archery deer hunt together. So that was like kind of my introduction into archery was doing that. And it was unique because like when you're a rifle hunter, and this is no bash, but like you don't really know deer like you do.
Yeah.
Like you got to get close with archery and all the things. So it's like we really learned how to deer hunt together, which was really cool. And so obviously, like as I got older, I got crap for using a crossbow, and I was like, well, I have no reason not to shoot a compound. So I got one, I think, when I was a senior in high school, and just starting shooting from there. So
That's awesome.
That's cool.
It's give you credit for going from. I feel like it'd be hard to go from crossbow to compound
Yeah.
versus the other way. So
Yeah.
that's cool. No, that's awesome. What's your dad think now? Like when he looks like
He loves it.
he's got to be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he
This is
thinks
crazy.
he thinks it's crazy.
Does he bow hunt now?
No, he's got a really bad shoulder. It's shoulder surgery, so he can't draw a bow back.
He still
too
live in
good.
PA?
But yeah. So I go home. I try to go home at least spring turkey, and then like we have a late season tradition that we do late season hunting.
Oh,
together,
very cool.
So
That's awesome, man. I can't imagine how proud he is.
yeah, he loves it.
That's so cool. So that's neat. It's the way you guys connected and like kind of met in the whitetail mecca, the LA of whitetails.
All because of archery.
I said that earlier when we were in the studio, just like, conversating. What I say? The
LA of
like Central Iowa's the LA of whitetails, and you're like, oh, I hate that.
The outdoor industry, yeah.
Yeah. Why do you hate it?
Because it's true.
I mean, it just gets into this. It gets into this deeper philosophy, or
And I don't get it either. Why Des Moines?
because of big deer
Middle of the state, man. South Central
Yeah, you go anywhere you
Iowa.
want.
airport. I mean, it's outside of the
Airport, yeah.
I mean, here's
Des
the deal.
Moines is a great city, though. For a city,
is.
it's a great
It is.
city. Yeah.
Here's the deal. When you look at it on a business standpoint, person A, we're running a TV show. Okay. We're going to own land one day. Where can we optimize our business to shoot the most deer for our TV show? It's Iowa. You can get $3. Where's the closest best state? Missouri. Where's the next best state? Kansas. Where's the
Come on,
next
Illinois
best
is
state?
up.
Well,
Illinois is not that
or,
good.
Or Illinois. You know
He
what
was
I'm
going to
saying?
get there.
Everyone,
you know, let it be fourth.
everyone who thought of that way. I mean, look at juries. Northern Missouri, Southern
Lakoskis.
Iowa. Lakoskis is same.
Lindsay's.
Lindsay's
The
same thing.
Bomars.
Well,
They thought of that.
The bees.
yeah.
They're there.
Well, that's why I hate it. It's like
Yeah, because the
It's-
Bomars are there. I hear you, dude. I'm kidding.
We'll say it for you.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I made him look bad. That's me.
No.
I said that.
But there's also I totally respect and I get home turf.
Yeah.
And it's such a touchy subject, and I will always be a neutral person for everything. And I will hear everything out because I see it everywhere. You have someone out of state come in, destroy an area. Someone out of state come in, destroy an area. Drive out farmers, drive out, think about it.
Leases,
Think about
stuff
it.
like that.
I'll come in, I get a lease. Who had that before me? Before it was a lease, maybe it was a 16-year-old kid and his dad that had permission from Farmer John.
20-year family permission piece
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
And now Farmer John's like, it'd be great to get $5,000 to help pay for taxes. Sorry, Billy Bob and Joe, you're out of here. And I come in, I'm like, okay, great. Now those two guys have to go hunt on public. Well, that's happening everywhere. And so then everyone gets forced to public. And then you have like, oh, public land hunting's cool. So then everyone else is on public. Prices are going up. Everyone's moving. I mean, I understand this whole thing that's happening everywhere in the world that's good. It's not just Iowa. It's Southeast, Minnesota. It's Wisconsin. Everywhere. It's Kansas. It's literally everywhere. So...
And then by default, everybody hates the hunting public, and it's not even solely their fault.
It's not solely their fault. It's everyone's fault. It's everyone. It's a double-edged sword. It's like, okay, hunting industry's shrinking, quote unquote. We need to grow it. Okay, we'll grow it. Where do they go hunting?
There ain't no
I don't know. Here, and you're fighting over it. It's such becoming a rich man's game, and I understand that, and it sucks. But it's like, how do we combat that? I don't know if we can.
We can't.
Yeah, I don't know.
We can't.
Yeah, you think about it, it's like, I love your perspective. I think it's a healthy way of thinking. I think that's great.
There's another token to the, side of the token that I haven't talked yet, but
Well, let's get there because like what I want to get to is like, how do you avoid it? Can you okay, so there might be some people like, well, here you are doing video and podcasts about it, but I don't know what, let's get to the other side of the token because I don't know where the fuck I'm going.
I don't either.
the other side
It's a frustrating conversation.
the other side of the token is I want things in life and I want to live the best life as possible. And one of those things that I really enjoy is big deer. So I'm going to move to a place in the world that has big deer so that I can enjoy it. And I will work as hard as possible to get there. That's the other side of the token.
Yeah.
it's always a tough situation because it's a double-sided sword.
Double-edged sword, man.
Double-edged sword. Yeah. So it's like, what do you do there? You know, it's like, I understand it. We're dealing with a black and white spreadsheet. This is how much property we can hunt on. How many people are adding to that? How much land is being consumed? Where is and that's where state regulations come in, you know, unfortunately, for non-residents, for even residents, for, you know, regulating tags. It's just a necessary evil.
Yeah.
You know, I went hunting in a place in Nebraska since my early years. And the first year I went there, I was like, this is Disneyland. I mean, this is insane. And I went for 5 years in a row, and every single year it just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse until finally it became a draw unit. And now I'll be lucky to ever get a tag again.
No kidding.
So it's like everywhere is turning that way. Everywhere is turning into a rich man's game. Public land is becoming harder and harder. It's just a tougher thing to get into. But now we're saying the outdoor industry isn't growing. Hunters aren't growing. It's like,
yeah.
You know, it's like, what's, you know.
Who's saying that?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, because you hear it.
Yeah, you do.
But who's saying it?
And every time like the DNR puts the numbers out, like it's growing every year.
Turkey numbers are growing. I mean, turkey hunter numbers are growing.
Yeah, I mean, like
I just saw some numbers.
Iowa DNR puts out that thing every year, you know, like the hunters growing and how many tags they sold and whatnot. I mean,
yeah,
it's been going up every year.
Yeah, it's a very tough thing, and I'm not nervous because I think it'll always be a thing, but it's going to be changing.
Yeah.
It's always going to
evolve with it. It's Dad, I don't know how to approach that conversation because it's a tough one, right? I guess some people would be like, well, you podcasters are the fault of talking about where they're going. YouTubers are the fault of being where they're at and showing where they're at.
Sure.
But like, is it though? Like, is that changing it?
It's a part of it.
It's a part of it.
It's all a part of it. The problem...
How do you avoid it though?
You don't.
You can't really, right?
This is the deal. We want more people to get into the outdoors. Okay, how do you do that? Marketing. Okay.
There it is. We're doing it.
We're doing it
right now.
If the initiative was don't get people in the outdoors and we were still doing it, then we would be at fault. But if it's like we want to get kids in the outdoors, we want people to get in the outdoors. Did you get it? No.
So you come here and we're just bug infested.
You know what I'm saying? No, it's like what's
Sorry,
first?
dog.
You know, the horse or the buggy. It's like
well, I think you know what I think. I don't know where this goes. I think to a point, no matter what, outdoor influencers are always going to get hate from somebody from a different angle.
Well, there's a lot of different kinds of them.
Yeah. But I think generally, you know, let's spin it this way. You know, like density of hunters is a whole nother conversation. It's a whole nother series of a whole podcast we could start on it. But promoting hunting in a positive light in general is probably more positive and changing times now than, you know, whether it gets more people into a public spot. Like with the liberal bullshit and the anti-hunter gays and whatever else that are basically going to, I say gays as a joke, kind of like, but also I don't think I'm far off. Like our community is under attack.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to show it in a positive light with emotion and care and dedication, like what you guys do. You know, you guys both do a good job of that. And so that's a positive. Because it shows it's not like mercy killing.
100%, but you're still promoting hunting. You know, we just get back, wherever little rabbit hole you get back, you just get back to it's promoting hunting, it's limiting access, it's limiting all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I just don't know if there's an answer to it, you know?
Yeah, I don't know if there's a clear solution. I mean, I guess it's up to, I mean, I hate to say this, but it's up to our trusted government. To do a lot of tags for that state and that unit, whatever, and they know, and
don't hold your breath.
Whatever, it's like...
Supply and demand, though.
Yeah. So what happens? We'll see. Does Iowa change in the next 15 years? Do we see Iowa?
Iowa is a point system, and people are leasing ground out of state, so it just sits there while they can't hunt it.
Is that good or bad for deer?
Here's a really interesting thing: is I know a lot of people that are out of state that buy ground because they have a lot of money and they just want to buy ground in Iowa because it's cool.
Yeah, I know. I've heard a lot about.
You know what I mean? It's like, and it's just sitting there. It's an investment, sure, whatever.
So is that good or bad?
It's good, I think. because it's
good for deer.
Good for deer.
Good for the deer herd.
Good for the deer
sure.
herd. The problem is there's been a couple bills recently, or at least one bill recently, it's where if you buy 80 acres as a non-resident, then you get a landowner tag. The second that it happened in Kansas, the second that happens, land prices are going to go up. I mean, they'll go up like $500 an acre overnight if that happens.
Ooh, yeah.
Which they're already up now.
They're already ridiculous.
So Kansas did that?
Kansas has been like that. I don't know for how long, but if you buy 80 acres in Kansas, I believe you get a landowner tag
as a non-resident.
As a non-resident.
What's it take in Iowa to be? We talked about this a couple episodes ago. We never got a clear answer.
I don't think Iowa would do that. Do you?
If as a resident of Iowa, how many acres do you need to buy to get a landowner?
4
tag?
acres. 4 acres. And you need to get a clearance, but you can only you can only hunt the deer on that acreage.
Yes.
Yep.
On that parcel.
Yep. So
Illinois is 40.
yeah, it's 4 in Iowa, I believe.
I think so.
Yeah.
I see as in tune as Iowa's management.
It's a tenant. It's weird. So it's a tenant tag.
I'll have to read my
Well,
landowner
no,
tag.
there's a difference between a landowner and a tenant.
It's a landowner tenant tag. It's like the same thing. It's
Because Illinois is the same way, but ours is 40.
Because say you're a farmer, you rent the ground, you can get a tenant tag.
right, and then appoint it to someone.
Oh no, like say you own farm ground,
Okay,
I lease the ground from you to farm.
Oh, sure.
I have the hunting rights.
Yeah.
I don't own the ground, but I can get a landowner's tag for that parcel.
Yes, correct. But you got to get approval and a contract and get it approved by the DNR, and it's like a whole deal.
Yep.
But it's really weird. It's really weird.
It is weird.
See, as in tune as Iowa is, that blows my mind that it's 4 acres.
But you can only hunt that 4 acres.
Right. But that's how Illinois is 40 to the 40 or bigger piece.
And that's your third buck tag?
No. It's 2 total. You don't get another.
See, that's Iowa. It's
Iowa, you get
Iowa, you get
buck.
another.
The
buck.
landowner's tag's a different
that,
tag.
that blows my mind. As in general, Iowa to Illinois,
So technically, your landowner's tag really isn't anything special.
I get it for free.
Oh.
It's just a money thing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I get it for free, and I can kill one on my ground. Like I got a resident landowner turkey tag this year. I killed a turkey.
Yeah,
on my
so if
farm.
I own ground in Iowa, I can get an archery, a gun tag, and a landowner
It's a
tag.
bonus buck per
Yes,
your
yeah,
land.
yes.
Yeah.
See, that surprises me because Iowa seems like more of the woke is not the right term. Up to date
Strict
buck management practice.
But you got to
versus
remember
Illinois.
that I forget what the numbers are, but it is dramatically lower bow hunters in the whole state.
The hunter density is way lower.
In Iowa?
Yeah.
Incredibly low. Incredibly low.
Is that because of the over counter versus the draw?
It's just the sheer amount of people that live in the state of Iowa.
The resident number.
I mean, you got to think
lower.
about the northern 50% of Iowa is nothing.
Yeah, you got Des Moines, Iowa City, and what Council Bluffs, and then everything north is nothing. Yeah,
There's more people in Chicago than the whole state of Iowa.
I hate Illinois.
Oh, there's probably more people in one suburb of Chicago than the whole entire state of
Yeah.
Iowa.
Yeah,
I mean,
fuck
it's-
Chicago.
Hey, brother, I'm with you.
There's more hogs in Iowa than people.
no kidding. Hog farms
That
in
is
Iowa
true.
is ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, see, it's just some of those things. It's like the landowner thing is weird because Austin is a resident of Illinois currently. He's moving to Iowa, but he owns more than 80 acres in Iowa as an Illinois resident. And I think it sucks that he can't hunt.
Does it though?
From my perspective as an Illinois resident,
As a non-resident, it sucks. Correct.
Yes.
As a resident, it's awesome.
It's cool because the deer are safe.
It's all correct. It's always a double edge, man.
Oh, you see it?
Always a double edge.
That's a fucking bastard.
But at the same time, I look at as an Iowa resident, like if you're buying ground in that state, paying taxes, all that shit,
you should get a tag.
you should get to.
You probably should.
And
but
guess what?
It's gonna drive everything up. You know.
It is. It's gonna drive everything up. That's a shape part. But like when you look at a tag standpoint in the deer herd, okay, that one guy can get a landowner's tag.
Yeah. It's just.
It's not like him and all his buddies are coming in.
Well, but
Over
I don't know.
Over the state,
Well,
they would.
You don't know.
Party hunting. There's weird
I mean, I'm saying
loopholes.
it's not. I'm not
Yeah.
stanced anywhere. I'm just saying. You know,
It's just what it
objectively.
is.
Yeah, it is
yeah.
what it is.
I'm
It's-
against that.
It's a great conversation.
Oh,
Yeah.
it is.
Because
Did you get it?
No.
yeah, the weather gets warm and you guys
damn it.
come and you're like, yeah, this WCB Studio is great, except they're infested with bugs.
Fruit flies. Oh, you might have got that one.
It might have just be the open beer.
had
can.
it,
It's our
got
beer
away.
tube that's causing it, I bet. We gotta get a cap for that baby. We need to get a tractor flap.
There you go.
the top of it, you know?
Oh, that'd be perfect.
It would be.
That whole Iowa thing, though, it's been talking about for years. I mean,
they try to introduce crossbows. They try to introduce the landowner deal. I mean,
Yeah.
Rifles aren't far, man. We got straight wall here. Well, do they have straight wall? In,
Yep.
in
oh, yeah,
Iowa?
they passed that, what?
You know,
5,
all right,
6,
what do you
7
guys
years
think?
ago?
There's other things I want to get to, right?
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I don't think we have a time limit on this podcast. We're getting
No.
into all the good stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm just curious on your guys' takes. You guys seem very calculated and you're very passionate, and this isn't a flyby thing. Like, this didn't happen by accident for both of you guys. So I might take this to just run stuff by you. Like,
Sure.
talking about all this stuff and talking about the straight wall cartridge thing and the crossbow thing, it's like, do you guys think we're getting ourselves into danger zone here, like with the ease of the harvest, to speak on like
No, it's always going to
political
be
terms?
hard. It's all, you know, I'm like a big picture type guy.
Yeah.
Like, I like looking like 30 years. You know, I don't like, you know, fighting over this little crossbow. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Sure, it's important because like little micro things matter for the long term. But I think big long term problems for hunting is just the demand and the people and the space
Over method.
over method. Yeah,
Because we're losing hunting ground every year,
yeah,
no matter where you go.
yeah.
Every state you're losing that
And government and just people and things. I just think that is way more important than all this little stuff.
What do you think,
The
Kaitlyn? Are you
little
on
stuff
board with
is
that too?
important.
Yeah, I agree.
See, I think, you know, pair that with the ease of method. I think it's a danger zone.
Ease of method or time of seasons.
Okay, that's a great point. Time of seasons per method.
So I think that if Iowa introduced rifles during their current shotgun seasons, it'd be like, okay. But if we entered
Another season?
gun season on November 15th, I'd be like,
Like
no.
Like
Missouri?
Illinois.
Like Illinois.
Yeah.
F that.
Terrible.
That'd be bad.
That's the reason
news.
why there's no big deer. I mean, we have our gun season in December. It's fantastic.
See, I wish that's what I was getting to, is like
Yeah.
the way you've modeled, Iowa's modeled their seasons.
Yeah.
If Missouri and Illinois copycatted Iowa on that.
Yeah.
Everyone would be moving to
Dude,
Illinois.
if Illinois adopted your guys' firearm dates, fucking thing, we would no one would think about Iowa.
Yeah.
Everyone would be in Illinois.
100%.
But we have the over-the-counter non-resident,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it kind of changes.
There's pros and cons. I mean, even Ohio's $1, but it's only shotgun. But
Someone's going to kill this thing.
We got to
had
quit
it.
reaching for that thing because it's ruining all the.
I know.
know. But yeah,
there's pros and cons in every single state. Probably more cons than pros, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, if there was a perfect, you know, it's so tough even hunting out of state, like knowing exactly what every little thing is. It's like, I wonder if there was a national wide change, you know, I don't know. It's very tough because of that though.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's really tough. It's really, really tough.
it's. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I will say, as a PA resident, growing up, I didn't know anyone that bow hunted, like, at all. I didn't know a single bow hunter. So everybody was the 2 weeks of rifle, which I don't remember the exact dates, but November.
Yeah.
And so, like, the deer quality obviously just wasn't there. And I would go, when I was younger, I would remember seasons where I wouldn't even see a single buck, like, at all. And that was, we hunted public, but also my cousin's a farmer, so he had a few hundred acres that we exclusively hunted, and it just, I'd be lucky to see a deer kind of thing. So now I think bow hunting is more popular, and when I go back to hunt with my dad, I've noticed a significant change where it's like the quality's better, and I mean, I don't know, but I would say that less people rifle hunt, so I think it kind of just changes the dynamic of the deer herd too. So it is interesting, at least from that perspective. I don't know if that would carry over into other states, but I think maybe timing and just method may have an impact.
Yeah, maybe like maybe this is not the right term. Maybe the glorification of killing a real archery deer can outweigh the impact of like, well, I'm a 33-year-old dude that's relatively in shape and can pull 70 pounds, but I'm going to get a over-the-counter crossbow and go home with it anyway. Like, it might be maybe the coolness factor of what we're doing, working class bow hunter, what you do in shooting shit with a bow and and it's like, that's cooler what maybe that's where the positive influence is on the game in the future and the access of big deer in all states is the encouragement of archery hunting with real archery equipment. That's a positive, right? For sure.
I think it's tough too, because like, at least from our perspective, we get so many days to hunt. So it's like, to shoot something with a gun obviously isn't as glorifying as it would be, or satisfactory as it would be to shoot with a bow. But there are people who might only get 1 day a week to get out there to go hunting, who may only be able to rifle hunt or whatever. So it's like tough to say like, oh, we shouldn't allow rifles, you know. I think it's such a weird like
for the record, not against any of it.
It's a double-edged sword.
I could run an argument on anything.
Oh yeah.
You for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
There's no real right answer. I don't think.
I just think there's no right answer. The longevity of deer quality and like the future of it, especially with more hunters, if we're gonna have all of these like the increasing levels and numbers of hunters, killing less is more to a point.
Yeah.
In it, and the quality aspect.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. All right, let me switch gears and we'll get back into the tabs, the pull tabs of frustration.
We in Wisconsin?
Eric's ears just perked up.
Yeah, I got my notes.
I love pull tabs.
See, look, I got my notes on there. So
Those are nice.
we'll get back to that. Yeah.
Professional.
So after talking about all this, you guys collide in each other's worlds, end up in Iowa, and you guys are killing the game on the YouTubes, on the internets. And Chris is just seems like you're just on like killing all the big crazy shit, dude. You're killing moose, you're killing caribou, you're killing big deer on public. Dude, it's like how do you feel right now after all this? Like after like checking so many boxes, like what's the standing? And then I want to get into some stories. Like how do you feel right now? Like do you like, holy shit, I can't believe I've done what I've done?
I mean, a little bit, yeah, if I like sit back, but I mean, there's so much more. I mean, and Kaitlyn can attest to it. I'm just like,
let's go.
Hungry.
Yeah, just 1,000 miles an hour.
That's good.
Yeah. Dude, all right. Well, we've been watching your videos in the studio. We got them playing right now, but I mean, from moose to caribou to giant public deer.
Yeah.
Or, you know, just giant deer in general, public or private.
Sure. Yeah.
It is crazy. Like, what's it like doing a moose and caribou hunt? Like,
the moose hunt was wild. If we want to dive into like the adventure hunts, I kind of just stumbled into kind of a couple of these adventure hunts. I've always aspired to do them. You know, I like to label them as like my aspirational hunts. You know, I never expected to do them, especially this young. And it's like, it's things that people will do maybe once in their life. You know,
it's on your list.
Exactly.
Like, as a hunter, it's on everyone's list.
Bucket list things.
Yep.
So I actually did my first caribou hunt with some buddies that lived up in Alaska. It's the Haul Road hunt. It's the budget adventure hunt. Did it for like a couple grand. We went up there and I ended up shooting one, and that kind of got me hooked like on this whole Alaska thing. And then I did this moose hunt. I actually partnered with Worldwide Trophy Adventures. So they're like a brokerage booking agency, and we've kind of teamed up together and we've done these hunts together. So the moose was one of those. And I mean, I want to kill a moose every year if I could.
You would?
Oh yeah, dude. It was phenomenal. It's more of the experience, going to a fantastic place, doing some crazy things. And it's like just being so remote. I wish I could do it every year.
Let's go right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would. I'm not kidding.
That'd be awesome.
And then, we did caribou again, kind of like a family trip, family friends trip. A couple boys that I helped mentored them growing up into the archery. They shoot competition archery now, and they go hunting all over the place. I kind of mentored them. We kind of went all together on a caribou hunt this last fall. Then we did a mountain goat hunt in BC. Yeah, man, it's kind of wild. It's for sure wild.
I feel like the Yukon moose is like the pinnacle. Like it's always been top of the top for me.
It was for me.
It was.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Moose and caribou. I wanted to kill them both.
Yeah. No, it was for me for sure. I mean, you just kind of get up there and it's like everything gets disconnected.
Yeah.
I really want to go do one and not film it.
Just to be there for it, like fully be present for it.
Yeah.
Was that the first time you went to Alaska for the moose hunt?
No, I did a caribou hunt a couple years prior.
That was before.
Yeah, with just some buddies.
Yeah. Dude, I can't imagine. Like, I've never been to Alaska. I had this big dream when I was young about like getting out of school, going to taxidermy school, and then going to be an Alaskan taxidermist.
Oh, yeah.
Like that was like go to Anchorage and be an Alaskan taxidermist was like
Yeah.
my one fuck everybody I'm leaving
Yeah,
type
yeah.
goal,
Yeah.
you know, my dream.
Yeah.
You know, join a band and leave town.
Yeah.
I'll teach you guys a
Join the
lesson.
circus.
Yeah, join the circus, be a carny, you know. Yeah, I'm down.
That's my dream.
That was like
Yeah.
my thing, man. I was gonna like join a gang, move to Anchorage, you know,
Yeah.
get
So
my
many
throat
gangs in
tattooed.
Anchorage.
I got halfway there, never moved. You know, so anytime someone goes and shoots one, I'm like, fuck, one day I'll do it. You know, like I got it tattooed. I got a Yukon Moose tattooed.
Oh, really?
I've never even shot one. It's like I did it back ass where it's like I want to do it.
Yeah.
You know, that's how.
It's cool, man. You just got to book it. The problem is it's getting extremely expensive. I mean, every year it's on like a 10% increase or something.
I'm not gonna hurry up.
Yeah.
I
Hate
burned
to hear that.
burned a lot of money not going.
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
even. But you know, you think, dude, so many guys get truck loans.
Oh yeah.
And they don't need
Yeah.
to. I'm like, fuck, I could have got a hunt loan.
No kidding.
I'd rather pay off a hunt loan than
Yeah.
a truck loan.
Yeah. No kidding.
100%.
Yeah.
And moose meat is amazing.
Moose meat is meeting.
Surprisingly, right?
Shipped all back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how much? All right, so break down the hunt. Like, were you expecting to like when you talked to them, we're like, oh yeah, you're gonna get a shot, or this is your odds, or
No. So the outfitter I went to was never successful with the bow.
no?
Oh shit!
They've been in business for 20 some years and never had a bow kill. I think this one guy killed like a black bear behind camp once with a bow.
And you're like,
Behind camp.
hold my beer.
On the shitter.
No, because it was still very tough. I mean, it was. We went into it knowing it was tough. It was the first week, so it was early. I mean, some bulls are still stripping velvet, and so I kind of went into it. Well, I learned like the month prior, but I was like, oh yeah, we booked this moose hunt. We're gonna be calling them in. They're gonna be bowed up. They're gonna be coming in, and I'm like all excited. And they're like, yeah, no. What you're gonna do is you're gonna go sit for 12 hours a day in glass. And if you don't see one, you're not going to do anything.
Oh no
So
way!
for 9 days straight, we would just hike up to a knob in glass and then hike back.
9 days.
Yeah. So finally, I think it was on the 7th day, we saw a legal bull. Finally, we kind of made a play on it. It didn't work. Then on the 8th day, finally we saw my bull, and it was, you could tell the rut was kind of coming. You know, it's kind of like pre-rut. So he was out with another bull, and they were kind of, you know, tussling around and doing moose things. I don't know what they do. It's equivalent to making scrapes, probably. You know?
yeah.
And so they were kind of down. We were up high, and they were kind of down. And it was funny because my guide was on the other side of the hill glassing. And so I had to make like a quick decision. I was like, okay, we're going to go for it. So we went without my guide knowing, but we had luckily 2 camera guys. And I told one of my camera guys, I was like, go get our guide and tell us what's going on and tell him to like wave if something's wrong. But I was like, we knew it was a legal bull. We, you know, counted his brow tines. I was like, we're not going to get in trouble, you know, but we're just going to go.
We're just doing it.
Yeah. So we hauled down the mountain.
So is this the bull right here?
Nope. This was one we did just got in close to because we weren't close to any moose. And I was like, you know what? We're going to get in close to one just for fun. So we just got close and just to be close to one. Yeah. Like, we knew it was a non-legal bull. But
That's
like,
badass though.
But then this is when I was going in on him. Okay, so yeah, it's kind of funny. So that little bull that we just went in on, we were up top and we saw him. We're like, oh, let's go, go see how close we can get to this bull. We come up top and we look right back down where we just were. And we're like, there's 2 bulls down there now. And I got glass on. I was like, that's a big bull. And then that's the little bull we were just literally 50 yards from. So then that's when I was like, okay, you go get the guide and we'll go down and we'll run after him. So we almost did the same exact route. We just hiked back up from. And this is the 2 of them, the little bull and the big bull kind of squaring up. So I kind of just had a landmark. It was maybe 600 yards down. Just kind of had a landmark, and you can see how tall the brush was and everything. I just kind of mapped it out in my mind, and I just navigated down. And then I think right here is like they were just at 40 yards. Like,
no kidding.
Yeah, I didn't
Popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, from up top to down low, 600 yards. It was just like boom right there. So luckily I mapped it out good enough in my mind. And right here, they're just kind of squaring up. And that's like early season is all it is spot and stalk. And luckily moose are kind of big and dumb. They can hear really well and smell really well. They can't see very well. So as long as you keep, that
downwind.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like a big hog or something, you know, similar things. So they're just kind of squaring up, and We snuck in. I think it was 29 yards right there.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So that little one was behind it, and it just kind of took a couple more steps, and then had a clear shot. And what's sucky is the night before I was practicing, but I was practicing at like 46 yards and I had a sliding sight. HHA at the time, and I had it dialed to 46, and I forgot to move my sight back. So right here, I shot 6 yards off because I had a 3-pin slider.
Yeah, yeah.
So I shot 6 yards high. Luckily, their lungs are the size of a garbage can.
Yeah.
Because
their torso is 3 foot long.
Yeah. Like I high lunged them because I was aiming like low lung. I hear him like freaking out and stuff, like thinking I hit him high, but we gave him a bunch of time and he was piled up in like 150 yards.
No kidding. What a feeling, huh?
Oh yeah, I cried here. That's the only hunt I really cried
Is that a
on.
fork in your bino harness?
Yep. Yeah, because we were eating a mountain house, I think, earlier. I just shoved a fork in it. Yeah.
Good question.
Hey, you
Doug.
never know.
I don't know, I just noticed it.
Doug's here for the real pressing questions.
People are probably wondering.
What'd your
So,
guide
what about
say?
that
Fork?
Yeah, what'd your guide
So,
say after that?
He was like, I'm looking up at him right now. I mean, his name was John. He was fantastic. Probably the best. I haven't had many guided stuff, but stuff like this you have to.
Yeah.
Right.
He was fantastic. I mean, it was a lot. It's a lot when you're filming. It's a lot when you're bringing extra guys, and he was fantastic. So he was all for it. I mean, we were all on the same page about things. So I just kind of made the decision to like, if we waited, we probably wouldn't have killed him. They probably would have moved off because it took him 20 minutes to come back around, you know?
Yeah, because your guy had to go over, get
Yes.
him, and then
Yep.
they had to come back. Yeah.
Yep. So by the time, and then he would have just said, yeah, go kill him. And then, you know.
Yeah.
You kind of expected him to say, go kill him.
Well, it was a legal bull.
Yeah.
I was
Right.
going to.
It's weird how stuff works out. Like for you to go mess with the little one, and then the big one
not
comes
kidding.
right back there, and you just don't do it again.
You're like, oh, that's a cool bull.
Practice run.
Go down.
yeah, practice run.
Come up. The second I like set my bow down and I look back down and there's just like 4 paddles down there now. And I'm like,
What the hell?
Where the hell is that other guy?
That's a what the hell moment
Yeah,
right there.
right?
We were speculating that he might have been bedded right there
The whole time.
the whole time. And we just didn't see him because it's wide open all around. Like,
Yeah.
he didn't like come from anywhere.
He guaranteed
Pop
he's
up.
bedded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
So-
seen that other bull and stood up.
Yep. Yeah.
So do you have this thing mounted at your house?
Not yet. Yeah, I'm getting it mounted. Yeah.
Do you have the room for it?
No, it's gonna go in my office.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Full blown, what are we doing? Pedestal?
Nah, it's like a wall.
Full body.
Yeah, hopefully I'll have a giant fireplace.
Full body.
One day.
One day, yeah. I love
Moose
it, dude.
always have to go on fireplaces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
It's a place for him.
Yeah. Right above
So
it.
were they like, wow, you did it?
It's a place for
First one
Oh
in
yeah.
20 years.
So it's funny. John, my guide was like, I'll be honest, man. I was like, I didn't think we were gonna do it. He's like, from day one, but going. I mean, the guides are all talking. They're like, yeah, it's probably not happening, man.
Your guy is probably like, sweet. I don't have to carry any meat back. I don't have to do nothing this week. 'Cause
Yeah.
he ain't gonna kill one.
I mean, we busted butt, man. I mean, it was a lot. We all grinded. But yeah, we found it right here.
Look at that country too.
Oh, just phenomenal. I mean, that's why it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's the experience. It's just where you are. It's not necessarily what you shoot.
And the moose is kind of just a bonus, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you go and I mean, the caribou hunt was awesome. There's tiny little bush plains all over the place. You feel like you're just,
Those look so sketchy.
oh yeah.
Do they feel it when you're in them?
Oh yeah. I mean, you could nearly pick the thing up.
It's like a flying go-kart.
Yeah.
It really is.
We
It's like, oh shit.
we were fogged in on the way there. We were fogged in and we were 2 days delayed. And finally the outfitter's like, okay, we're going to push it a little bit, but we're going to fly through the fog. And so they picked us up and our pilot is like sweating, like just like jazzed out of his mind. And I'm like behind him, like really like seeing his mannerisms and stuff. And he's like freaking out. And we are flying probably 50 yards above the ground fast, but the fog is like right there. So he's like kind of like pitching down in this little creek and stuff. I don't even know if I've told you this full story. He's kind of like pitching down and stuff. And then he like gets out of it. He's like, he's like, boys, that might've been the scariest thing I've ever done. And then when the pilot tells you that,
Oh,
then
no.
you're like,
But at least he told you that afterwards.
Yeah, after, yeah.
Not before he's like, boys, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. I've never done this before, but we're going to do it.
Fuck, I'm nervous. You're like, you're nervous. I'm nervous. Fuck, I'm nervous.
And you're
Why are you
driving the damn
nervous?
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was like 3 pilots that took us all in and they kind of followed each other, you know, and one guy was an old guy. I mean, he was like in the Navy or
This is like some top Top Gun shit you're doing here.
He was like in the Navy or something. He was mad after it. He like went and left for a while and was like, I just need to collect myself.
No kidding.
Like, wow.
From that one flight.
I was like, we just did something pretty sketchy. Yeah.
Oh, wow. What an experience, though.
Oh, yeah. It's like, I'm glad we did it now, obviously.
Well,
but
yeah.
the only, I mean, it wasn't
Glad I
wind, it
called
wasn't
that guy.
weather, it was just fog. You can't
fog.
see. And the problem is they've done that route a bunch, so they kind of know, but still, it's like the problem with fog is you can't see and you could just run into a mountain.
Hey,
Yeah. Yeah. The problem with fog is
you're flying a plane. You need to see.
Yeah.
the problem isn't really fog. It's mountains.
It's mountains, yeah.
Yeah, mountains are your problem.
Oh, man.
I don't like driving in the fog, let alone
No.
flying a plane between
No.
mountains.
But man, like, there's a couple guys that we didn't know personally, but knew like through mutual friends that died,
Yeah.
crashed planes. in
It's
Alaska and
nothing to
died.
mess around with. It isn't.
It happens.
Yeah, they obviously had enough confidence. There was no mountains. It was just lowlands flying. It was, but it's still sketchy.
Yeah,
it's
oh,
still
yeah.
sketchy.
Oh man, I mean, Caleb Stillions had that story. They were out sheep hunting. That guy killed the sheep, flew himself out, killed the sheep, and I don't know what he did. Took off. The wind was the wrong way, and tried to get up and couldn't, and just faced it into a mountain.
Yeah,
they had to
man.
go and get him.
Yeah,
Yeah, he had to stay while his guys left and went and go retrieved everything.
that stuff you need some balls. It's nuts
It's another level of manhood
to fly them. Yeah,
that I'm cool not having.
yeah. I'll trust my life with those guys. I don't. Yeah,
But dude, what a cool experience, man! Like your videos are top notch.
You're killing it, man.
Yeah.
You're killing it.
The moose to the caribou stuff, the whitetail stuff, the Kansas whitetail hunt, man, is just wild as fuck.
yeah. That was just luck.
Luck, but also
Right place, right time, and sure,
Yeah.
we
Luck
did
with
the
a lot of
correct,
skill.
correct preparation and stuff. But yeah,
I love when that deer comes in. You can kind of feel you're like, oh shit,
yeah,
type
is happening.
feeling with it, you know.
yeah. No, 100%.
And I do
Yeah.
respect you guys hunt separate.
That's kind of always our thing, and I had a hard time with it at first because Kaitlyn is very independent. She wants all of her stuff on her own. She's her own very independent person doing her own thing, and we operate that way. I mean, our businesses are separate. She's got her thing, I got my thing, but we do hunt together. I mean, we do things together, but we are very independent of each other.
Yeah.
And, you know,
I think from my perspective, and I think maybe a viewer perspective, that's good because it's a collab when you do. It's beneficial for both you guys when you hunt together.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got to do your own thing, both you guys.
Yeah.
And as a woman, and I hate this conversation, but we'll get into it, right? Because like our goal is to have more legit women on the podcast instead of like focusing on like the for love or for likes types chicks, you know, because that sucks.
Yeah.
We all know that sucks. Like at its own, you know, say what you want or don't. We'll say it for you. But it's cool to see you do your thing on your own and like still kill stuff independently and kill or not, just doing it.
Thanks.
You know?
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't know if it frustrates women who are doing it for real with all the hoes in the game.
It yeah. It's
Muddies the
It
waters.
makes it hard to make friends
It doesn't help.
in the industry.
Because they're all hoes.
Well, it's just like no. I'm not I'm a girl's girl, like you do you, but I think there's a time and a place for things, and I don't think that showing skin while hanging a trail camera is like the time or the place. So
Yeah, fair game.
If
Yeah,
that
Chris.
makes sense.
Yeah, stop showing so much.
Yeah.
that's why we do things separate. Like,
Yeah, I'm not a part of that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the hoe.
He likes showing skin. That's his thing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what he does. Yeah. No, I respect that angle. And, you know, as much as we love to see it, I don't want to see it with my hunting.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at. Like, I mean, you do you know, like I don't have a
Like
problem. with
we said, there's a time and place for it, and
Yeah.
hunting's not it.
Exactly. That's my stance.
I think where the line gets drawn, maybe feel free to interject or throw me a wink and I'll do it for you. But like, I think where it is, it's like, don't give me tips and try to sell me shit when your ass is out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? That's like where it makes it weird.
Yeah.
It's just also like, it's not tasteful. I mean,
Yeah, it sucks in general. For real.
yeah. I don't know.
I got separate pages I follow for that. You know, I don't
you
follow
go.
my hunting pages for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but that's one thing. It's like we all kind of talked about at the beginning of the year. It's like we want more women on that are like doing it right, because it's so easy to kind of fall into false pockets in the online game videos and Instagrams and stuff like that with women.
Yeah, and it's tough because like I've met a lot of those girls at shows and such, but you know, obviously I try to talk to them and befriend them and all that. But it's like typically when they're posting like that, those are the kind of girls that have no clue about anything. You can't even hold just like a regular conversation about deer hunting. Like they just either don't know. They don't know. And so it's like that was kind of my biggest eye opener is like, yeah, okay, I don't necessarily agree with your content, but if you at least can talk the talk and walk the walk, then I can at least respect you in that sense. But a lot of those girls, they can't. Yeah. You know, so it's like that's kind of where I just
Is it? It's got to be so quick for you to just realize that too when you talk to them.
I mean, it's easy to see.
Yeah.
So
it's so weird. And how do you navigate that conversation without sounding like a complete hater or an ass? Like, I'll gladly do it. Like, I think it's funny.
I gotta get a drink.
Guys,
that's how you do it.
I think there's guys like that too, though.
Yeah.
No, I was saying like in the conversation. I do need one though.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Just Crown and Coke Zero.
Okay.
Is Eric bartending for everybody?
That's the intern job.
Damn, you're making Jordan
Young boy.
Nah, I gotta pee.
Look at you. What a gentleman.
I got you, bro.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to sound.
Yeah, I don't want to sound like I'm like a hater or any of that, but I mean, I just think there's a time and a place.
For sure.
You know, that's just kind of where I stand on it.
Well, it's a respect thing too. Like, I think it's when I'm hunting and I'm consuming hunting content, I want to consume content from someone that I like.
Got him.
Thinks is doing it.
Yeah.
Think is doing it right and doing it for the right reasons. Not for showing ass or whatever, and it's just a bummer to see otherwise. I think it makes us all look kind of doofy, you know, like, or it's just dumb.
Yeah,
it's dumb, and you know that's why I kind of wanted to like talk to chicks who are doing it the right way and who are legit. Because for every chick that's doing it legit and passionate and cares about hunting in general and putting out a good product, there's like 4 hoes per one chick.
Oh, yeah, but the hoes will fade out.
Will they?
Looks only last so long.
I think so.
That's a good point, Doug.
Yeah,
but more hoes are just going to come in.
I think so. I mean, there's a lot of legit women out there. Truthfully, I think a lot of them don't care to have the social media.
Yeah.
Because like even just my following, like girls have messaged me like, you know, oh, I love your stuff, whatever. And then I'll go like check their page out and they might have a few pictures or whatever, but they obviously aren't like trying to be somebody or post in that kind of a way. So it's like, I've noticed that a lot of them are just more low key, like behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So they're there. It's just, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And
you don't see that because they're not posting, you know.
Yeah, or they're not hitting us up.
Right. Exactly.
No, they're not.
You know, we don't have a lot of ladies hitting up the WCB. So like, they're like 4 chicks that listen. So you're.
I'll try to change that.
Yeah, you know, and there's more than that. There is, and a lot of them are vocal about listening. You know, and when we have women on, they're appreciative of it because I mean we do our best to avoid the hoes. Yeah. You know, and I guess you gotta.
Bob and weave.
They can get you if you're not paying attention, but. You know, I don't think we've never had any hoes on the podcast like fake hunting us. I love us just casual.
You just keep
Hose Dave Hose. It's they would have a bad time with us, right? Because it'd be hard to like talk your way out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, like you could fake it in like a quick bar conversation, but if I'm like
on the pod,
tell me about how you hunt scrapes, bitch.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, oh, what are scrapes?
Yeah.
You know, it's like they got nowhere to bob and weave.
Right.
And I'm being a little like harsh for comedic relief. But,
yeah.
But you know, that's true, right? You know, you're never nailing chicks down being like, what are you doing October 24th over a scrape line?
Yeah.
Honey. You know, they're like, oh shit. You know, I didn't really thought about it.
Honey.
You know, it's like here, I'm going to do that, especially because it's entertaining as hell, you know, if you could do it. But I don't know where to transition from that.
Maybe you should just invite all of them and just have them
just
all
have
at
them
one
here.
time.
Dude, we've talked about it. We've talked about it, but I feel like they would know.
Make them fight to the death.
They'd all talk behind the scenes probably.
Well, I think it'd be tough, like, oh, we're going to go chat because, you know, I could run it for 3 hours.
They probably wouldn't do it.
And just
They
let them
wouldn't do it.
I don't think they'd do it. It'd be too hard. There's a lot of people that don't do podcasts because it's hard to, like, fake it.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to just have a conversation for 2 hours. You know, and I hate to, like, beat this to death, but I think it's also a good conversation at the end of the day. Like, especially, I don't know. What do you think, Chris? You know, I'm calling these chicks hoes every 4 seconds. Wait, help me out.
What does Jordan think?
Yeah, what's young boy think before Chris? Let's let him ruin
He's
his.
like, oh, I follow them.
Yeah,
Yeah, he does.
I actually don't.
Yeah, you
Everyone
do.
thinks I follow one, and I don't even follow her.
Who's
The one you talk
You
about
know.
constantly.
Okay, I won't get into. I don't know really. I don't think.
The R&R chick.
She blocked you.
Oh yeah,
She blocked you.
yeah. Okay,
I
that
don't
one.
think so.
But she's a legit archer though.
Yeah, she doesn't like hunt though. I don't. I guess she doesn't portray that she does. So
Yeah.
it's cool.
Jordan's a young boy though. He's got a young brain. You know,
He doesn't know.
he's just trying to find his way.
Young boy.
Young boy.
Young boy.
I'm just here, hanging out.
It's a beat down conversation, right?
Yeah.
But does it get old? Does it need to keep happening?
I just think it's even.
I try just to like stay in my lane and focus on what I'm doing.
I don't pay attention.
all you can do.
I don't pay attention to anyone.
Yeah.
You don't pay attention to the industry at all. Do you watch hunting videos from anybody else?
I
or-
do, but on an educational or learning aspect.
Same.
Yeah, that's
I
important.
really try to. I try not to read comments. I just like do my deal. You know.
Yeah.
I really try to do my deal. I make sure that there's nothing. I pay attention enough that I stay in check and I'm doing things, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you got to find a guy that keeps you informed.
Yeah, I mean, I have my circle.
Yeah.
You know, I have my internal circle
They
that really
update you
keeps
on
me.
stuff when
Well,
you
it just
need to.
keeps me in check. You know, it's like I know I have my driving mission and my driving principles, and I know that if I stay within those lines, that it doesn't matter what anyone else is doing.
Yeah.
No matter what, you're still gonna do you.
Yeah, for sure. You just do what you do. You
Yeah.
got to like to a point. You have to be kind of culturally aware.
Oh yeah, and I am. You know, I pay attention, but it used to matter to me more several years ago than it does now for sure.
Like you said, if you read all them comments, it could really beat you down real fast.
You need some thick skin.
With age, you find that like confidence, like your lane becomes more prominent with age.
Yeah,
And just what you're doing. You find what you know what you do, and you stay into what you do.
I'm pretty weathered now. I really don't care.
Lee Herr keeps me. I jokingly call him my publicist
Yeah, for sure.
because he's like, "Hey, so you know this is what you need to know." Like I don't watch anything,
Yeah.
you know, or listen to anything.
He gives them for him everything.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, you need to know this. Here's some bullets." I'm like, "Oh, cool, sick." You know, like other in the industry, the space around us. So
Yeah.
Lee kills it for that. But
If he wasn't a cult leader, it'd be perfect.
so, dude, when you guys go to like, you go to Total Archery Challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Is everyone just like, "Oh, he's here to win another truck. Look at him, he's so good."
It is funny. It's kind of become a thing.
Yeah.
Or people like when you walk up, they're like,
Yeah.
Get out of here, Chris.
The thing is, it's still all chance. You know, it's like
Yeah.
you just get entered to win then a random draw.
It's a draw
Yeah, it's
off
a drawing.
the
It's a drawing.
qualifier
Yeah.
shot.
So you just get into a pile of 100 people and then they draw.
right.
You know, so
It doesn't matter what you shoot.
You've won two trucks.
I've won one.
I thought you won two.
I bought the first one off of a buddy that won it.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of people get that confused. Yeah, I only won one.
Was it like wrapped with Total Archery Challenge? And you're like, let me get that. Let me piss everybody off. Is that what happened?
It's a long story. Some drama and stuff, but it's like,
Well, you don't got to get into it if you don't want.
well, essentially, we were tight. We did videos together, whatever. He won the truck with my bow. It was always planned that I was going to buy it, and I bought it out, sort of deal. I took on the taxes. I did all that jazz because it's a big deal. When you win something, you claim $50,000 of income.
Yeah, right.
You gotta pay taxes on
Then
it.
you got to pay taxes on it.
Yeah.
Then you got to pay transport fees and title fees, and I mean, you don't win it.
Yeah.
You end up paying for a truck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
In the end, some way or
it's not
another,
really-
you pay for
Yeah.
it.
You end up paying for a truck. So a used truck,
Yeah, for sure.
50,000 miles on the truck.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, when so let me go back, dude. So one of the first videos I'm trying to think back. The first video I've ever watched of you was when I worked at Deere. I was I may or may not have been on my lunch break watching YouTube. I don't know. But you were trying to set like the long distance archery record at the
yeah.
time. So I don't know how many years ago it was.
I think that's the same video that I had seen.
Yeah. That one kind of
That's where you fell in love.
Yeah. That's the one I didn't subscribe to.
Oh damn!
Look at that long range shooting.
And yeah, I just remember seeing like long bombing targets.
I've done that a few times. It's really interesting. Dude Perfect did a video a while ago and they shot like 550 yards or something. So I was like, that'd be fun to go in a cornfield and just shoot up in the air and see what happens. So we started doing that. We've done it several times now. It kind of got dialed into I kind of nerd out about some of that stuff. And even just last year we shot like 550 yards. We popped a big balloon at 550 yards with the bow. And I wanted to keep doing further. Like we've shot an arrow before like 750, 800 yards. So just for fun. We haven't videoed it or anything, but it's just like seeing how far an arrow.
How far it will go.
Yes. Yeah. With the correct 80 some pounds, super light arrow. The problem is accuracy. That's the problem.
Probably the wider the arrow, it more floats and whatever.
Yeah, and you had everything going against you at that point.
Oh, everything. Wind, draft, way up high, everything.
Everything.
It's fun. It's really interesting. Yeah, to kind of do that, go out in the field, and you need a aiming point really close to you, and then you kind of adjust and you move around, and that kind of moves the circle. Like it's not that hard to shoot 500 yards and get a 10 by 10 foot circle of arrows. Like it's not that hard. As long as you're in the same spot, you're aiming at the same thing, and you don't really move, and you do the same thing every single time, you should be able to get a decent group at like 450, 500 yards. The problem is,
You sound so easy.
That's a good clip. Clip that right there.
Yeah.
the problem is when you get further than that, you really need to have a unique setup, and then you get dialed in even more. And then if we try to like put on a show, we do it at night, we light everything up. So now it's like really calm.
No wind.
But up 500 yards in the sky, it's a little windy.
Windy.
Yeah.
So there's been times we've shot an arrow and it's like, shoo, you know, it goes way off to the side, like random.
Man.
And then the rest of the 10 go like right there, and you're like, whoa, what happened there? So really, and then if you do it with lighted nocks, it's wild doing it with lighted nocks because you just see it, and then it just.
Ah, that'd be fun.
That would be cool.
So I've shot whistle points too.
Wait, what?
That's a thing.
It's things called
Like
whistle.
a Nerf?
Yeah, you can go on Amazon. It's like little whistle points.
Nerf or
We
nothing.
did.
What's the point of them? Just for fun?
They sound like a
Like the old Nerf ball?
yeah, like
the Nerf football?
So you hear it, and then it gets really quiet, and then it gets louder and louder and louder, and then nothing because it hits the dirt.
Oh, that's
It's a
cool.
lot of fun. You do that with a lighted knock, and you get out in a big field, and you just shoot up in the sky on a clear night, and it's like
I'm buying those for the shoot,
that'd
but
be
I'm not
so
going to
fun.
tell anyone. Just go
so
out there
much
and
fun.
It's like an action movie. So what was like was one of those videos the one that like kind of blew up your internet presence, or
So the first video that blew up kind of internet was I think 2016, 2017. We did something called archery stereotypes. Did like 800,000 views or something. Went crazy on Facebook.
I've had to have seen this.
I mean, it's old. Yeah. And we did a couple variations of them. And earlier on, it was very, very.
This one?
Yeah, that one. Yep.
Yeah, 726K.
Yeah.
The young B Weekly.
I know. We had a group of friends in Target Archery that like did this thing. Like this was totally for fun. Like no plan.
So have you
man.
met the Dude Perfect guys?
No.
You haven't?
No, we just like parodied a bunch of their stuff early on.
They need to have you on, dude, and challenge you to that archery long range.
So
thing.
they've done it like every couple years or whatever. So I've always kind of been like,
What was it? Tyler Tony? He's a hunter.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well,
no, I know like he'd talk to the Matthews guys. I mean, I don't know. I don't.
Wasn't he a Hoyt guy?
He was a Hoyt guy. Yeah.
Yeah, didn't he claim like the Sable archery record for a while?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. I'll pull it up.
Yeah,
That's
but,
hilarious though.
Yeah, we would do like fun parody stuff when super young.
short hair, Chris.
Dude, I know that's like that's 10 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, that's 10 years ago. 10 plus years ago.
Oh, right here. Found it right away.
I think I made that in Photoshop.
Tyler Tony, Hoyt archery Tony with the new opinion #1 world record Sable ever taken with a bow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I made that graphic in Photoshop.
No kidding.
When I worked at Hoyt, I remember that now.
111 and 4/8.
What year was that?
2018.
Yep, I made that.
111 and 4/8. I wonder what my Sable is.
It's a giant.
I think my Sable's right in there. Honestly, we could measure it.
I know nothing about sables. I have no idea.
Yeah, what's like a standard?
What's I don't know what's like giant. 42 and bigger is giant. Mine's 45 and a half.
Dang. What's that one?
Well, I think
They give a total score.
Oh, a total
I would
score.
think they're doing an SCI score. Mine has 10.5-inch bases
yeah,
and 45.5 and 45-inch. So let's just average it.
How do you measure those? Base and then length?
Yeah.
It's got to have like 4 mass measurements or something.
10.5.
I don't know.
No, it's just one.
One mass measurement.
Like right at the base?
Mine's 111 and a half. Well, that's what that is.
Really?
And mine might have shrunk. I grain measured
So
mine.
you shot a giant then.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I got the tie.
It's right-
You're
it's out
tied
here.
for the world record.
Yeah, with Tyler Tony from Dude Perfect. Get him in here. Yeah.
And we'll fist fight over it.
Yeah, mine might be, I don't know how much horn shrink.
Dang.
It's been 2 years since I
Yeah,
shot
I
it.
don't know. Dang, that's a giant.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a giant sable. But
Yeah.
I think world record might be a false claim.
Who knows?
Because what I thought when I looked it up after I shot it, I thought I was number 11 all time SCI.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's not the record. But there's so many like regions and subspecies of African animals that I don't know about.
It's easy to shoot a world record in
probably-
Africa. You just need money.
You need Bomar. if you're Bomar, everything you shoot is a record.
Everything.
Bro, I
Yeah,
shot a
dude.
world record giraffe. You see it out there?
I did.
Well, I watched Sarah Bomar world record water buck. I'm like, my water buck's bigger than that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you put world record behind it, though, gets views.
Yeah, but like it's like they're playing on
it,
specifics.
where it was, the county or something or whatever you.
Yeah,
The
the
county.
province.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what they have either. Yeah, yeah.
The parish,
The parish. That's funny. That's a good. And I like how you gave Dude Perfect credit on the archery stereotypes.
Yeah, I mean that was freshman year of college. I think that was
That's great, dude. YouTube.
back when it was easy.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, man. I love it, dude. I love like the company. Like all your videos are just like insane views.
I mean, we've done a lot of them, man. I mean, that's the thing is we've been going hard for so long and really haven't stopped.
Yeah.
I think it's just the consistency for especially all these young guys and everything coming up, like consistency in anything you do, in working out, in business, in relationships, and anything you do, consistency always wins.
Yeah.
So as long as you stick with it, keep going.
It's
And you
gonna
learn,
be-
and
it's
you
good-
learn from
It's
it.
gonna be cool though, because we're kind of in that age where like you're gonna look back at this in 60 years and be like,
Oh, yeah.
you can watch everything you've done.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
people before us couldn't do that. Like they
Oh, yeah.
started at an older age, but like you can be like, yeah, I was real young doing this, and look at me, I look like an idiot, but
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to talk to you about, because we kind of talked about it at dinner, is arrow build stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think heavy arrows are all the craze right now. Are you in with that, or like
No, absolutely.
you're not? Okay, like I want to get into that with you because I'm curious. Like when you are doing tournament archery, like what's an arrow build versus when you go kill
a tournament. Yeah.
Well, now I want to go from that to Yukon Moose.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know, like you don't nerd out as much as you want, but one thing I did for sure want to get to is like your build.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to run different stuff than we run with sponsors and partnerships and all that stuff. But it's like, what do you run and why? And let's just start with arrows because.
Tournament stuff, equipment does not matter at all.
What do you mean?
Tournament stuff does not matter at all for tournament archery consistency shooting. Because if you could have a ping pong ball and every single time you have the muscle memory to get it in that cup, every single time. If you upgrade your ping pong ball, if you upgrade your cup, same size, same everything. It doesn't matter. That's not going to increase your ability. Now, what equipment will do is it will enhance your own abilities, but it will never fix or increase your accuracy of things. So, with that's the extreme side of it. It's like I just, whatever. But it's so true. It's so important that the most important thing is you. It's always the Indian. It's not the arrows. That saying is so true for target archery. There's guys that'll say, I've never tuned my bow. I've never done anything. I don't care if the knock end sticks into the target to score it. As long as it does the same thing every single time, it does not matter. So with all that said, of course it matters that you have semi-good equipment, that you have semi-tuned stuff, that you do everything correctly. Yes,
You use
it
your
doesn't
stuff
help
in practice.
It doesn't help, but the most important thing is you practice, practice, practice. Your form is good. You perfect your mind. It's such a art. It's not equipment. It's so annoying that equipment matters so much. It can enhance you. It cannot perfect you. So with that said, arrows are some of the least worry about things in target archery. Sure, you can go down the rabbit hole and worry about all sorts of things, but building an arrow out, I've shot some of the same arrows, the same dozen arrows for so long in target archery, especially growing up. It's like, hey, outdoor season, I got my 2 dozen arrows, and you just start shooting and you just pile in. And you can fine tune certain little things, point weight, you know, tune your rest a little bit and see how group tuning is, because really for target archery, group tuning is the only thing you care about. You don't care about how straight the arrow flies. You don't care about how flat the arrow flies. What you care about is how tight can I group.
As long as you're hitting that mark.
Correct. So we sometimes would do all sorts of kind of weird things to see if it's like, oh, you know, your group's tightened up a little bit because you made your bow out of tune. There's a big argument that if your bow, anything, you know, if there's an irregularity of something, an irregularity is more perfectible. Wow, that might not even be a word.
It sounds like a word.
It sounds like a word.
I believed it.
You fooled us.
I
I
believed
think
it.
it is.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Then trying to be perfect. So it's like if you have a slight left tear, if your arrow comes off your rest every single time, that's more repeatable than trying to make it perfect. So if it's perfect, then it has every little angle at it to make it not perfect.
Oh yeah, that makes sense in a very awkward way.
Correct. Target archery does not matter as much about all that jazz. Of course, you could go down the rabbit hole. Guys definitely do. They think it's super important. But what matters the most is just how well your bow groups. I was just talking to Levi Morgan. We were doing something up at Matthews with Shields, and he's like, man, it's like I won my first 5 world championships not even knowing how to paper tune.
No shit.
Yeah. Dude, it doesn't matter. All these people think it matters. All these people think it's witchcraft. It's not. If you can pull back a bow, get it sighted in, and hit something over and over and over again, it doesn't matter.
So that's what makes the NASP
That's
shoot
what
off
makes the NASP
so
thing
difficult.
so difficult, because we are handed the same exact bow, these same exact arrows, the same exact rest. You cannot do anything, and it is strictly how well can you shoot a bow to do it the same every single time.
That's almost cooler.
Yeah, you don't get people getting dropped off because their rest fucked up or something happened. Or
sure, something still could little happen like that, but you don't have the excuses.
Yeah, right.
You don't have the excuses. You don't have, my family was richer than yours, so I have a more decked out bow, and then that kid feels like trash, so therefore he doesn't shoot as good because he just doesn't feel like he's as good.
Yeah, right.
Right. It's very interesting, man. So now, you have all this target stuff. Then you go in hunting. Now hunting actually matters for tuning because we're shooting giant blades
helicopters
on the front of our arrows
at a living thing.
Not even that. I'm just talking about shooting that direct the arrow more than the fletchings do at times. So if you shoot a field tip, you can get away with murder. As soon as you put a fixed blade broadhead on, everything changes. Literally everything changes. So on a tuning aspect, yes, you need to have a well-tuned bow. You need to be paper tuned. You need a, bear shot, whatever you want to do, whatever your cup of tea is of tuning. Make sure that your field tips and your broadheads shoot the same. You shoot them all. I'll even super glue my broadheads, mechanical broadheads shut, shoot them at 20 and 100 yards. And if they don't hit the same spot, I'm not happy. And ideally, like this mountain goat and this moose hunt and everything, I'll take a fixed blade. When I'm all done with a tuning process, I'll go walk to 20 yards, shoot at 20, hit in the middle, walk to 100. If I'm not in that, like a morale dot, I'm not happy.
Ooh. Whoa.
That's my final check.
On a fixed blade.
On a fixed blade. So that's how anal you could be and have to be on hunting stuff. Like I'm way, way more particular about hunting stuff than target stuff for tuning.
That makes sense.
Can you set up my bow and build arrows for me?
It's so it's so every person is so different.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like even just shooting the bow is just so different.
Yeah.
So okay, that opened a door for a lot of questions. All right, let's talk first like arrow weight. You said you don't care about arrow weight.
I care about arrow weight, but we could probably find a spreadsheet somewhere, but there's a simple equation to pros and cons of arrow weight. There is a little sweet spot on the mid 400 grain arrow with the correct poundage. And if you start exceeding over that 450, 500 grain arrow, the amount of energy you're gaining, but you're losing speed. You're losing how much does that arrow drop from 30 to 40 yards? You're losing all of these such vital things to kill something for gaining 2% of energy.
Okay. Yeah, that makes it interesting. Yep, makes sense.
So from like a 500 grain to a 600 grain to a 700 grain, sure, you might be gaining a single-digit percentage of energy, of kinetic energy, but you're losing all of these other great benefits: a flat arrow, a fast arrow, a very comparable penetrating arrow, single-digit percentage. I mean, we're not talking dramatic.
Yeah.
When you're bow hunting, you're in the business of killing. We just are. So what is going to kill the best? Something that is going to be the most forgiving, something that is going to obviously penetrate the most or whatever. But when I don't care what broadhead it is, what arrow it is, if I'm not going to hit what I'm aiming at when it's supposed to hit, the animal ducking, moving, whatever, then that's not right. I want to hit exactly what I'm aiming at. So if I have a slow, extremely slow arrow shooting an animal at 40 yards, and the animal steps back 2 yards and it's 42, but I put my 40 pin on it, that arrow's going to drop like 6 inches. Not only is it probably going to duck out of the way, I just hit 6 inches low.
Yeah, right.
I would much rather, to sacrifice 3% of kinetic energy, run a 450 grain arrow that's flying very fast, 295 feet per second, super flat sight tape. And when I go from 20 to 30 to 40 yards, we're talking like an inch or 2 or 3 of a difference. And then when you go to 50 and 60 and 70, then it's only a couple inches of a difference.
Yeah.
There are certain things that I value more in killing an animal than single-digit percentages of penetration, kinetic energy.
No,
if that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So the guys that are like the big FOC guys that are talking like that,
the amount of time that they worry about FOC or talk about it or think about it or read articles, if they just shot their bow, I guarantee they'll shoot. I guarantee they'll kill more animals in their lifetime than worrying about that.
I love it. Your attitude on that is my same attitude on dudes who freak out about wrapping paracord around the front of their tree stand.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you just
quit worrying about it.
You spend more time worrying about where the deer would be to hang the stand.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be wrapping paracord around the fucking front end of it.
And I get it. If it's your jam, if you're like, I'm nerding out about this thing, I love it. Like,
all right, can I paint a picture from my perspective for you? And I want you to like tell me like you're wrong or you're right. Like I'm looking at you for advice.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna like be honest with my situation. With you, because I respect you and I know you know what you're talking about.
Open book.
Yeah. You know a lot more than we do.
Yeah, I'm look at me, dude.
I surround myself with guys that know a lot, and I just absorb.
You're the guy, dude. That's why you're sitting
We're
here.
absorbing from you.
And I'm a dude with a neck tattoo, bro. So you don't listen to me. You know, like I have no good advice. My mom cries herself to sleep every night. You know what am I doing? You know,
you just got to stay up past midnight. Then it's not nighttime anymore.
Yeah, dude, I just you know, I got a hard liver. I'm just doing what I can. You know, I'm out here having fun.
You're doing great.
So. We have Africa this year and whitetails.
Yeah.
And last year I didn't shoot at a deer over, let's just call it 15 yards for whitetails.
Yep.
So I'm playing the close game.
Yep.
So I've changed, so 2 arrow builds I changed up a little bit for this season. So I'm running just over 600 grains on my whitetail setup, expecting not to shoot past 25 yards on it. You know, I'm shooting close angle. I'm a mobile hunter, like almost exclusively, so I'm getting in tight.
Yeah.
Am I dumb for that? Am I dumb for because I was shooting like a 500 grain arrow.
How many pounds are you shooting on your bow?
65.
Yeah.
I'm dumb?
No, I mean you're not dumb. That's the thing you're never dumb for any sort of situation that you choose, because you do choose it and you believe in it, and confidence is the biggest thing. If you're confident in your setup, then that's more important than anything in the world.
Yeah.
If you're driving a Beetle and you're the most confident guy in the world compared to someone driving a 2,500 and you have no confidence. I would rather be the guy in the Beetle than, you know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So
you're telling me I'm the dude in the Beetle right now.
but you have all the confidence, man. No. I mean, if you're taking sub 25 yard shots, I mean, at that distance, you know, we're splitting hairs.
Yeah, I'm not shooting at whitetails. I'm not going to shoot at whitetails at 40 yards with the setup.
But I want to ask you, like, why?
I think after the season I had and the way I'm hunting, I didn't really hunt in the open. I had a bad experience with the arrow setup. I hit a deer high at a close shot, and I'm like, I'm not fucking with that no more.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm thinking about it wrong, but I would just want to hit him with a Mack truck. Is kind of my thought process on it. Like, I'm close range bow hunting for whitetails. Like,
yeah. I mean, hey, I've never shot a whitetail over 50 yards, and I've only shot maybe less than 5 whitetails over 30. So I'm in the same boat. I mean, it's like when you're whitetail hunting, you're just tight. You're just tight,
and I feel like I'm calculated enough in my game, and I'm confident enough that I feel like any deer I shoot is going to be 15 yards this season. You know, every play I think that I'm going to make is going to be 15 yards, 20 max, probably 25 super tops. Would be, you know, the most.
Yeah, and I mean, in that case, it's different.
But this year, you know, I don't have a Wyoming antelope hunt planned. I don't have a mule deer hunt planned where I'm going to shoot 40, 50 yards. Like,
what broadhead are you shooting?
I'm shooting a 175 grain slick trick single bevel fixed blade head.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to bash. Like, if that's your jam, that's your jam.
Tell me if I need to change something, man. Like, I'm not going to be offended by it at all. You know, but
I think you could do the same sort of damage with a 450 grain arrow and a super small expandable.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's fair.
Because the thing is like, if you hit in the no zone, I don't care if you have a 50 cal. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah.
It's not going to die.
It's the no zone.
If you're going to hit something in the center of the shoulder bone, nothing's getting through that. So there's just some shots that are like not happening.
Yeah.
You know, regardless of what your deal.
Yeah.
What I will say is, like, I always go back to, like, it's the Indian, not the arrow. It's like, if you are wanting these benefits of higher penetration, you know, all that jazz, try to up your poundage.
Okay.
I always go that route compared to a heavy arrow.
Okay.
It's just you get better performance. Of course, that's not always the case for everyone. Like, that's always tough. But if you, like, had to, like, work towards something, it's like, try bumping your bow up 5 pounds or 10 pounds or whatever else.
Do you think a 5 pound increase makes that big a difference?
For sure. Mm-hmm.
That bit, like, measurable?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. That's good.
I think it's more measurable than going up in arrow weight.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to die on that hill. We could open up some spreadsheets and look at it.
Yeah.
But upping your bow 5 pounds is, I think, better than upping 100 grains.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, no, it's tough to think about. No, that's valuable. That's real valuable. Okay, so in the other spin of it, I have a Cape Buffalo hunt planned.
Yeah.
We're going to go to South Africa. That'll be very close range. I got a 993 grain.
That just sounds silly.
It's silly, yeah.
So continue.
Grizzly stick. It's a Victory arrow platform. But, you know, that'll be close range. I'm not shooting long bombs, obviously. And that's just to have that. It's a penetration thing, I think.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on that? Is that silly?
So I'm going on a water buffalo hunt.
Same thing.
In Australia. And I'll probably shoot a 450 grain arrow.
So am I overthinking it?
I'm shooting 80 pounds, though, which is another difference.
Okay.
So...
So I need to build another bow for my Cape Buffalo?
It's all math, man. I mean, this is all pros and cons in math.
Right.
You know, I would say, like, I think what I would prefer to do is, like, challenge yourself to shoot 75 pounds in a 500 grain arrow.
Okay.
That's, like, where I would rather be.
I hear you. Yeah, yeah. That makes sense. So I'm looking at I need to get 2 bows.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, though? It's
100%,
just like,
yeah,
I look at that better because you don't know. I mean, are you going to get 15 yards from a Cape Buffalo? I don't know. It might be, you might be at 40 yards and the pH is like, on the last day, this is your deal. And you're like, let me dial down to where my 100 used to be. You know what I mean?
With a 900 grain arrow, right?
Yeah. So I could probably, like, you know, get an 80 pound elite and shoot my 600 grain arrow.
Shoot a 500 or 600 grain arrow. I mean, I think that's more favorable
than a heavier arrow.
Well, than a very extreme heavy arrow. You just lose out on so many benefits. Not to mention, it's going to be incredibly tough to tune a 1,000 grain arrow or 900 grain arrow, and the amount of energy that's lost out of a arrow hitting an animal on an angle is way more than just a heavier arrow in general.
Yeah.
I mean, hitting an arrow on sideways, I mean, then it bends, it loses all this energy. I mean, we're just talking about energy here.
Yeah.
You know, it's like how much energy is stored, how much energy is delivered.
A lot to think about.
It makes you think, don't it?
I've just been wrong, I feel like.
That's the thing, though. It's not wrong. It's not wrong, but we're just talking
Just not
about,
right.
Well,
It's just not right.
Well, it's like probably a lot with the shooter, the draw length, all this stuff.
Everything, you know, it's like
See Indian.
if you had a 31-inch draw length shooting 75 pounds, I mean, you could kill anything in the entire world with a 400 grain arrow.
Yeah, right.
Seriously.
Uh-huh.
So it's all speculation, you know, FOC and heavy arrows and all that stuff. What matters the most is hitting behind the pin at what you're aiming at and being the most efficient killer that you can, which is a fast arrow, a short sight tape, the less margin of error. That's how I look at it.
For sure. Yeah.
You know?
Makes sense. Man, it makes me just want to go heavy poundage. Just be a dog.
That also can hurt you, though. You
It can hurt you.
It's just
Make
just,
bad habits.
Yeah, exactly. Then bad shooting habits. You don't shoot enough. So
It's a double-edged sword.
everything.
You can't win.
Somebody tonight. Goddamn.
These hoes out here.
Give me a crossbow.
It's all the
I'm
hose
switching.
fault.
That's how I like to look at things, though. I don't like dying on a hill unless it's like, yeah, this is the only way, bro.
No, it's a healthy perspective. I think I'm comfortable with my 600 grain arrow for whitetails, like the way that I hunt. You know, I think if I had a antelope hunt and like more western wide range, like 40-yard shot type hunt, I would not have the same arrow.
Yeah.
You know, I'd go with my same RIP TKO
So
in that high 400s, 500 range.
some examples. I shot my moose with a VAP TKO. It's 440 grains, 75 pounds. It blew through it, hit some ribs, and like 20 yards behind it.
No kidding. Is that 75 pounds? Is that what you shoot normally, 75?
80 now, because Matthews has 80 pounds now.
Really?
Yeah, new this year.
No kidding.
So my mountain goat, which mountain goats are incredibly tough, big muscles, big fur. I shot it with a 440 grain arrow, 80 pounds. It blew through it, and there was a mountain, maybe like 120 yards behind it. Blew through it, kept going, bounced off of the mountain, and then went down in the riverbed.
Holy smokes.
Fast arrow, dude. Fast mid 400 arrows are way more efficient in so many ways.
So there's got all these arrow dudes on the internet just like, fuck Crispy.
No, I mean, I don't care. I will say, like, the ranch fairies of the world and stuff, it's like they just don't know.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I've watched.
They don't understand. They haven't experienced it. They've done the math, and they see the single digit percentage, but they've never done it. They've never killed a bunch of stuff. They've never gone through it, seen the pros and cons of what actually matters to kill something efficiently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, we're in the business of killing. What makes us the best at that?
Yeah.
A super, super heavy arrow to gain single digit percentages, which doesn't make us as accurate as a bow hunter, because you're losing speed, you're losing accuracy, you're losing tunability. It's just, it doesn't play out for me.
No, I like it. Young boy, were you going to say something?
Yeah, like I watched a ranch fairy video, and he was shooting at like a 3D target or whatever it was, and he was just wasn't, the shots he was making weren't good enough to kill it with any other arrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
He's not a good shot.
Yeah.
Range fairy is just not a good shot.
And like his heavy arrow is not going to save him if he shoots it in
You
the
hit him in the
brisket.
leg that's in the
Yeah.
leg.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
It blew through that leg though.
You double lung something. Yeah, this is the shot right here. Yeah. Shot that. See that mountain behind it?
Yeah.
It bounced off of that.
Way back there?
Yeah. It was like 100-some yards. I mean, it went way down and then bounced and then landed in the riverbed.
Sheesh.
But I mean, there was rocks all over the broadhead and everything, and it's laying in the bottom of the riverbed.
Fuck, man.
But
I'm like, I gotta change some shit. I gotta call my boys.
No, I mean, I don't know. I think if you landed in a happy medium, you'd be really happy.
Yeah.
Maybe bump your poundage up a little bit, come back down in arrow weight a little bit.
Yeah.
And you'd be better about it. Your arrow would fly better.
So like the heavier the arrow doesn't mean like better tunability.
No, it sometimes can make it very, very hard.
Okay. No, it's good. It's good shit.
It all
here.
depends. It all depends. Of course, it all depends.
You just
on different
suplexed my
variables.
whole mindset, dude.
I mean,
But no, you didn't though. You didn't though.
Stone Cold stunnered your ass.
Because I always shot like what did I normally shoot? Like just about 500 grains.
yeah,
That's what I normally
which
shot.
is
in a rip
good. It's on the
TKO.
heavier side, but it's good.
Yeah,
Like a 95 grain insert or
75.
and then 125 grain.
125
Yeah,
head.
on a rip TKO.
Yep.
See, I think it was more in the 400s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just switched to VAP SS for this season with VAP SS 250 with that new slick trick head.
Yeah. Heavy insert and then also
95
that head,
insert with 175 head.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot, man.
Yeah. And then the Cape Buffalo arrow is different. I expect to be close.
Yeah.
But maybe I won't be. And that's fine. If I don't kill one, it's whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to take a irresponsible shot.
No.
I just wanted that like hitting force for something that big.
For sure. Yeah. And I there's just multiple ways to get there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. And I think that's like what causes all the internet arguments and like arrow weight. And it's like,
Yeah.
that's why you see like the, you see the ranch fairy guys. And we've had Garrett from Grizzly Stick on. He's a great fucking dude. He's coming back in here in a couple months.
Good.
Dude's an animal. Like they're the
Yeah.
Cape Buffalo Kings,
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's something I'm interested in talking about. Obviously with you, it's like, and I changed my setup this year, and it's.
I mean, if we're talking about whitetails, which is 80% of the world, you don't need a lot to kill a whitetail.
yeah, right.
You need to hit them right. You need to hit them right. If you don't hit them right, nothing's gonna kill them.
I get pass throughs with a 380 grain arrow. So
45 pounds.
At 45.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's all about where
So
you
it's
hit
like-
them at the end of the day. So if you can make your setup to make you as accurate as possible, as forgiving as possible, that's where I'm always gonna go.
yeah. No, dude, it makes complete sense. Like obviously you're the guy. you know, that's why I asked. Like,
Yeah.
so a lot of the questions we ask in the podcast because we want to know or learn.
Sure.
Your whole Indian arrow thing makes sense now.
It for sure is. I mean, people just love complaining. I mean, it's human nature. We love to complain and blame things. And so we blame things and then we go down rabbit holes to try to fix our own problems, which is we just don't shoot enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It's very true. I had some deer close and just with the angle, fucking high spiked them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck.
It's like, what could have been different? Bigger broadhead? Did you not have penetration or was it a pass through?
No. I'll show you the video after this podcast, but just steep
Yeah.
right underneath me. I think, I don't know. It could have been how I aimed the pitch for the angle. It could have been, who knows?
That's always everyone's reaction, though, is like, I'm going to go heavier and fixed blade. I mean, that's been my reaction about things, too, before.
Yeah.
But then when you really think about it, it's like, was it, though? It's like, or was anything that I shot right there would have done the same thing?
Yeah, probably that.
And I look at, like, let's say you did a liver shot or a gut shot. I'm going to want a big cut and broadhead if I do that.
You want the biggest you can. That deer's dead.
The deer's dead, but I want to find it, and I want it to die as fast as possible.
Here, that's the thing with. All right, let's talk shot placement for a second, and I still want to get back to your build.
Yeah,
because like we talked about this on a couple podcasts. Had some clips go. We had a couple clips go. I wouldn't say viral, popular.
people paid attention.
They went internet popular.
People pay attention.
We talked about shot placement, and shot placement was like back off the fucking shoulder.
Oh yeah,
6 inches.
I love back of the lungs.
Back lung, but you get liver. If you get back lung, liver, and gut, and that sucks to say, hitting them in the guts, they're gonna die.
I'll never intentionally aim for the guts or the liver, but again, this is the philosophy. How efficiently can I kill something? If I aim super tight to the shoulder, my odds, let's say the deer's facing left, my odds to the left are zip none.
Yeah.
But if I aim 3-4 inches middle lung, back lung. Now my odds to the left are way higher, and my odds to the left are very high. So this is all statistics. This is all
right.
this is or to the right,
to the right.
yeah. Whatever, you know what I mean.
Middle of the middle, essentially.
Yeah.
Middle, yeah.
Like a black bear.
Yeah, like a black.
Yeah.
But we always want to be super efficient, so it's like I always aim as low as I possibly can to kill it, and as far back in the lungs as I can kill it if the deer didn't move.
Yes.
And then if the deer moved, I have the largest amount of area of the lungs if it ducks. So wherever my pin is, it's like I will kill it if it doesn't move. But I will be middle lungs and low.
Right, kind of like you said with your moose, even though you were at 46 yards unknowingly to your dial.
I for sure aim middle lungs low. I always do.
Yeah, and good thing you did, because if you would have aimed middle or high lung,
so many
you would have
times
shot over them or
so many times it saved me. Yeah.
That's one thing that's like so ingrained in my head is tuck the shoulder from everything you hear growing up. That's like
I think that's 98% of the people.
been bow hunting since I was fucking 14 years old. Why can't I get it out of my fucking head? And you go back in to mode of tucking shoulder, and when you do, and you shoot a deer and you don't get the penetration, you go, fuck.
Yeah.
You need to just hit him in the shoulder.
And you can tell yourself that you're all year long, but as soon as you draw back at that deer,
wham.
Yeah.
you're hugging that shoulder. You're like, what am I doing?
Do we have to almost like reiterate and reprogram the next generation of aiming?
The conscious mind.
The conscious mind. I want to efficiently heart punch them.
I want to watch him fall. Yeah.
You have
20
to
yards.
intentionally tell yourself.
You have to program aim back.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like black bears, I do it.
Yeah. You don't
Middle
want
of the middle, shoot that fucking thing right in the center of that. It's going to die.
Yeah.
Because black bears don't have antlers.
Shit. It's a little bit easier.
Shit.
Yeah.
I was going to make a joke, but it's too racist.
Yeah, you don't.
And that's all in good fun.
Skip over that one.
You have the sunglasses on.
Yeah, yeah.
Those sunglasses.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like you just got to, exactly how you explained it is exactly how you should aim. You know, it's
The most margin of error, I feel like you should always aim.
and it's better for the animal.
Well, I mean, it is. I mean, it's just we're trying to be efficient at killing things. At the end of the day, it's respect for you, it's respect for the animal, it's respect for the sport. I think we should always be as efficient as possible at killing what we're trying to kill, or it's not respectful for anything and everything. Yeah. That sounds kind of gruesome, but I mean, that's the reality of it.
That is the reality.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just shot an axis deer, and it was like 29 yards, quartering hard too. And of course, it was a more marginal shot or whatever, but same super light arrow, same everything. I tucked it. I hit the shoulder right in tight, and it came out the guts and blew out the back, just 20 yards behind it.
Damn. Mm-hmm. Man, you're convincing. You work with Victory?
Yeah.
And Loophole. Shout out to Loophole.
Not Loophole anymore.
Oh, fuck. Well, my bad.
They're great.
Oops.
They're
But
great.
we
Great
love
team.
Loophole.
Great team. I mean, great everything, but I work with SIG now.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, man. It's I asked those questions because I kind of wanted you to like serve me information, you know?
I as technical as everyone thinks I am, and we do our educational videos and everything, I am almost as simple as it gets.
No, that's refreshing because I'm
That is, yeah.
I've fallen into it like clearly.
I think we all have like
Yeah, we kind of did.
well, you know,
We got.
All right, so shout out to my buddy Nick Morris. He kind of explained this to turkey hunting to me like a week ago, and I think it applies to everything. You know, like I went turkey hunting on my little 40-acre piece and bust some birds off the roost, and I'm like, fuck, I fucked up. And he's like, dude, he goes, go bust some birds off the roost. You separate that tom from his hens. You get in there. It's just hunting, dude. You yelp a little bit, you kill that bird in an hour. He doesn't know where his hens are. He thinks they're right where he got busted out. You know, and he kind of like simplifies things like, dude, deer laying in there lazy, not that smart. You just go in there, go hunt and kill that thing. There's something like beautiful about that, and thinking of it's like, or I guess the point I was getting to is like, there's guys that are like these turkey hunting, you know, freaks that they're so into it. They want to make it more romantic and more complicated than it is, and give these turkeys more credit than it is. I think it's kind of like people do that with archery and arrow weight and whitetails even. It's like, you know, Waddy said something on a podcast with us. Is like, they're just goats. Out there. and here we are, like we give them like this personality and we name them and we're like, oh yeah, Floppy's out there evading me.
Yeah.
Like, he's just doing what he does.
Doing what he does.
No
He's
idea who you are.
walking around.
Give a
It's
shit
like, Kurt Geyer, the fuck that faggot, you know? He ain't gonna kill me, or he don't even think about me, you know? He's just out there trying to hump stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And try not to get killed. Yeah,
In general.
In the process.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, but that's kind of the beautiful thing about it. We do that too.
The more simplistic you made it, though, it's like the less you got to worry about.
Well, I think it's also the more confident you can get too. I mean, it's like I set up a bow and we put our rest on and we put it at the literally manufactured 0 and 0 lines. We get the cam set up so that it shoots well at those 0 and 0 lines. We make sure our arrow isn't ridiculous. We get a bullet hole. We go outside. We shoot it. We shoot a broadhead. If we have any sort of weird thing in the rest, we move it slightly. If we ever get way out of whack, something's wrong, we go back to the drawing board. Something is more wrong than just moving the rest around. If you ever move a bow around more than just a little bit, something's wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Your arrow's wrong. You have face contact. You're torquing the bow. Most of the issues is you. In archery is very similar to golf. It's not the club's fault.
Yeah, you suck.
Hey,
Yes, it is. What are you talking about, Chris?
you know, I can
have a $250 set of clubs. I go buy a $1,000 set. I'm still gonna be shitty.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is you can, let's say upgrade your balls or whatever. I'm not a big golf guy, but you go from 300-yard drive to a 310-yard drive. You're like, oh, it was the ball, and it's like, maybe, sure.
I just had a really good hit on that one.
Yeah, but it's all.
You were drunk and hit it harder.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's all
start
about
drinking
you.
again.
It's all about you, man. It really is. I could pick up that bow and be fine.
Yeah. I love it, dude. It's right. You're right. Fuck. What are we going to tell you you're wrong?
No,
Chris B. That's not right.
You could not shoot that bow, I guarantee you.
Actually, if you knew better, Ranch Fairy is correct. Yeah. And I don't know Ranch Fairy for the record.
I think his math is correct. I just think his philosophy on killing things is wrong.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. I'm with it. Well, I'll think about my arrow setups now, and now I'm just gonna text the shit out of you.
Sure, dude, do it. I don't care. We're gonna find a couple of these spreadsheets. Joel Maxfield from Matthews always goes a rant on Facebook every now and again, and throws up some random stuff.
Yeah,
and he's a great source of information on that because he's a rage mid 400s, 75-pound guy for everything.
Advocate for,
and he's done the North American 29 or whatever.
Oh,
with literally
a
75-pound bow, a rage broadhead, and a 450 grain arrow.
See, dude, you're really like making me want to be like elite, dude. Can you give me like what's the heaviest poundage I can shoot for my Cape Buffalo? I'm 65. I'm cool on my whitetails.
I mean, I would 65 is fine for whitetails.
Yeah,
I would do whitetails 65. If you want to be a little heavier, 500.
Yeah, which is where I was with the rib TKOs.
Yeah, sure, fine. Cape Buffalo, I would argue a lot to do higher poundage.
Okay.
More so than if you're gonna decide. If you could only decide one thing, heavier poundage.
Okay.
That's what I would do. But heavier poundage with a 600, would be like.
So keep where I'm at on basically
your whitetail arrow, but go up on poundage.
Yeah, keep my rib TKO for whitetails. Now do my VAP SS for Cape
I'm
Buffalo.
telling you, I'm gonna go kill a water buffalo in Australia, which is the same thing with 450 grain arrow.
And what I'll tell you is I'm not too far gone, right? So I have a dozen VAP SS at 604 grains that I might just take to Africa and shoot everything in Africa with.
Yeah.
And I still could do that with the same broadhead, all that. Grizzly Stick by Victory does the sampler kit where you test different broadheads and all that.
Cool.
You tune it up, and we did that the other day at my buddy's house and got him shooting good at 993 or 4 grains, something like that.
Okay.
So I'm not too deep into that. I could still just shoot my 600 grain VAP SS for Cape Buffalo and all the African stuff. Now I'm shooting 65 pounds. I might just get a heavier bow if I need to get a heavier bow. But I'll either just run that same setup for whitetails or go back to my rib TKO victories at 500 and 495 is what it was.
I mean, that's fantastic.
And I had been shooting that arrow setup for 6 years,
forever.
And you had that one experience where you were like, maybe I'll.
It just shocked me, dude.
Yeah.
When you see the video, you'll know.
Yeah.
I got trauma.
Yeah, no, and I understand that.
You're heartbroken.
I'm sad boy.
Everyone's had
Sad boy hours.
Everyone's had that situation or scenario. I mean, I've had, but when you really think about it, it's like, okay, what did I hit? What was the angle? What actually was going on? It's like, was it the equipment or was it where I hit?
Yeah, it was for sure me and where I hit. Like, dog was too close.
Yeah,
he was just so close.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, but you're not wrong with thinking any of that stuff.
Yeah,
but it's just like, I just like to strip everything away, you know. And it's like, what's the reality of this?
Strip away the trauma.
Yeah,
get to the facts.
Get to the facts.
Get some therapy.
yeah, for sure. Well, dude, I want to give you a chance. I appreciate you guys being in here. I want to give you a chance.
Thanks
to,
for coming.
Plug your bow setup or any partners or anything like that you need to plug in any way, or if you don't, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, just look me up on YouTube if you want. We got a bunch of stuff, a bunch of hunting stuff, a bunch of educational stuff. If you want to dive into the archery wormhole, we try to keep it simple. But yeah, on there, just crispy on YouTube. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Where you at, girl?
I'm here.
With them hoes. Out there with them hoes.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Sorry. Plug your stuff. Let people know.
Kind of the same thing. Just Kaitlyn Moss on pretty much everything.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want to cut us out. You know, I know maybe we save it for another episode. You come in, we'll just
part 2
hate on crossbows as much as possible, and
I mean, hey, I
all the filed topics.
I love talking about stuff, and I think I don't do podcasts a lot.
Do you get asked to do a lot?
Oh yeah,
you do. I bet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just don't really do them a lot. It's just more of a time thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man. I mean, I love talking about things. I think really deeply about things and long-term effects and archery and the industry. I really care about business and the outdoor space and bow hunting space a lot. So I always think about that. And my bigger mission is always to put archery and bow hunting in the best light. And if I'm not in that realm, if that's not my mission, then I'm not going to do it.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love
awesome.
It. Well, thank you guys for like being here, coming here.
Yeah, man, this is great. Yeah,
and I hope you had fun.
Oh yeah,
we enjoyed the hell out of having you guys here. Yeah. It's WCB style.
Oh, yeah. Hope you come back.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh yeah,
we're a quick drive away.
Yeah, we gotta say you guys should come like out our way. Shoot bows in our yard.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we'll just full blown embarrass ourselves in front of you guys. It'd be great. Yeah, we're in. We'll do it. Did you see the WCB belt out there in the studio?
The belt? I did see that. What is that?
So that we're doing like this.
It's my belt.
Well, easy.
There, Doug.
This summer we're gonna do just a fun, just for shits and gigs, like vlog type thing where we're doing like full blown old school Monster Bucks video stuff, just for that belt with our crew.
Oh, that's cool.
Just like trying to make archery
fun,
lighthearted and fun.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. I mean,
in our own drunk type of way. You know?
Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's having fun with your buddies at the end of the day.
Yeah,
you know, it really is.
I will say, man, I think it's really refreshing, like talking to somebody at your level in the archery game, but hearing how simplistic you like to make it, and like you kind of, in a way, and I mean this in a good way. It's nonchalant in the best way possible to get the best result.
Yeah, I really think it is. It's skill is the biggest thing in this space for hunting, for archery, for anything. I think people really get complicated about. And this is me coming from sponsors, and we sell stuff and everything. And of course, equipment can enhance you, but equipment doesn't fix you. There's a big difference there.
That's well said.
That's well said.
Yeah. Just because you drive a cooler truck, Doug, doesn't make you more cool.
I was going to say, I won't say it, but we can continue
you can think you're Batman, but you ain't Batman. Doug, what are you feeling like right now after this episode? You got a lot of smile. Your hat matches your shirt.
I'm matching.
You got a girlfriend. You missed like the last.
Wait, hold on. Doug's
episodes.
here.
Yeah, Doug. Good to see you part time.
I missed one episode.
Well, a couple. You've been absent a little bit.
I feel great.
You look.
Thanks
great.
for coming, guys.
You look great, Doug. What's been
I'm
on your
gonna
mind
go more
lately?
Thank you
simple.
for coming.
Yeah, I'm going to go more simple on my setup now.
What's your arrow setup this year? How heavy?
I'm in the 600s now.
Yeah.
I fell for it. They got me. But I'm going to go higher poundage next year.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you can handle it, if you can
Going
drop
Chris
back,
B.
as long as you can maintain your same form, that's the problem when you go with higher poundage. You start sacrificing on form, how you draw, all that jazz. So it's like if you're gonna go to a higher poundage, go in small increments, practice, like get up to a point. It's just like working out. It's just like anything,
okay.
you know. It's
I
like,
think about, maybe this is wrong. I want you to hear.
yeah.
Chris, am I wrong? I think about the poundage I pull when my muscles are cold and I've been stagnant, sitting in a tree cold.
Yep.
And 65 for me is where I'm like, could I pull 80? For sure
Hey,
I could.
whitetails is
Yeah.
you could kill someone with 40 pounds, 50 pounds. So
Yeah.
65 is fine if that's what you are.
Yeah.
But for all of this other stuff,
Cape
elk
buffalo,
or Cape buffalo,
yeah.
water buffalo, I would advocate more poundage.
I love it. No, that's right. Okay. Elite. Give me that 90 pounder.
Get your boy a bow.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one jackass on him. Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah. Good to see you though, Doug. Gosh, you've been absent for
Thanks
a
for
while.
having me.
Jordan about took your full-time spot. He about to
Little Jordan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was sitting there forever.
Young boy.
He about to get some spreadsheets printed out in your behalf and start just taking over.
Taking over
Jordan
job.
couldn't do jack shit. He's lucky he's even here.
All right.
Know where you stand. Jeez.
We'll just go around the table.
I'm
We'll,
just
we'll
kidding.
give everybody their closing comments. You chose to shit on our intern.
Yep.
That's cool.
Thanks for coming.
Chris, you got any closing comments?
No closing comments. I just I'm always for the sport, archery and bow hunting, man. And it's like I want to get more people into it and simplify things. And it's a lot of witchcraft and shady mirrors, and it's not all that.
Snake oil.
Yeah.
Love some witchcraft. Cool. Well, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Say shady mirrors,
Yeah.
smoke and mirrors.
I like shady mirrors better.
Shady. I got what he
Shady
meant.
mirror.
Yeah.
Shady mirrors.
We all got
What does
it.
that mean?
I've drank Crown this entire episode. I'm like, yeah, dude, shady mirror.
Yeah, it sounds good.
I typically almost say what it is, but I don't.
What were you saying? Instead of double-edged sword, you're saying
Yeah, what?
I don't know.
Double
I said something else.
side sword.
Double-sided sword or something?
Yeah. I don't know. I always say dumb stuff like that.
Hey, me too. It's okay.
It works.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Say it with confidence, brother. Don't matter where your arrow
I just
set
keep
it.
rolling
Yeah.
until someone
Yeah.
points me out.
Yeah. Young boy,
Yeah, it was cool sitting in on this one. I didn't add much, but
are you nervous?
I don't know.
Not anymore.
We're gonna
Not
get a
anymore.
picture, just you two after this
No.
podcast. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm doing
No.
We're not doing it. Chris, we got to do that because he's too nervous to ask for
No,
it.
we're not doing
No,
that.
I'll take it. We're gonna do it.
We're doing it.
We're gonna do it.
Stop it.
Hey, look, dude.
This is
it's
just
fine.
like the
Hey.
mac and cheese bites at the
Yeah.
depot.
Yeah, see, he's nervous. He doesn't want to say
He
what he
wants it,
But
but
he ate all of them.
He ate them all.
Yeah, he ate 'em all.
Hey, you set them in front of me.
Chris, would you take a picture with him one-on-one after
Stop
this?
it.
Well, you guys just sit right where you're at. I'll take the photo.
There we go. That'd be
You send to all your friends. Look who I got to hang out with all night.
I'm not doing that.
You look
I don't
so-
have
you are.
friends.
We're making you do it.
He's
Yeah,
all
you're
nervous.
doing it.
All right, Jordan. We'll make it happen, buddy. Don't worry. You're good.
Stop it.
Quit acting
Stop
so
it now.
weird. Caitlin, thank you for being here. And I'm sorry.
Why are you sorry?
Just because you had to deal with us.
Oh, I don't mind. This was fun.
Okay, that was
I don't have as much to add on the like bow build side of things because I didn't grow up like tinkering.
Yeah.
Hunting, strategy, and that kind of thing is like my forte.
Well, here, how about this? Next time you guys come down, you'll sit where Chris is, and he'll sit over there and shut his mouth. Perfect. How's that?
love
That
it.
works.
Perfect.
Okay, we'll do that.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. It was
Yeah.
fun. Thank you for being legit.
I try.
Shout out to them hoes. I would have shoot went. Like, damn.
The same salsa.
Eric, how you feeling, buddy?
Good, man. Thank you guys for coming out.
Yeah.
It gives us a lot to think about actually,
Yeah.
and our builds and everything else. But
Yeah, man.
thanks for coming out, and hope you guys come back.
Yeah, we will for sure.
Yeah, thanks guys for being here. It was fun. You actually came to us. So that means a lot, especially if you don't
Yeah.
do a lot of podcasts.
Yeah, man.
We're just trying to carve our own space out in this game. So
Sure.
I'm glad you guys are part of our library now.
Oh, yeah.
And let's do it again.
Well,
Let's do
you were giving him a hard time about fanboying, but Chris was like fanboying a little bit coming here.
Oh, no.
I mean,
no,
I've
no.
always wanted to be on
do
this podcast.
Yeah, no
Really?
kidding. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be on.
I got to be honest, so all right, let's cut this back real quick. We talked a little years ago, our first year doing Iowa Deer Class, or no, Ohio. Were you at Ohio Deer Classic
Not
years ago?
Ohio. I've only done Iowa. Yeah. We've talked way back when in Iowa.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe that's where it was. I'm just mixing up the state. Yeah, early on. It would have been like when I watched you do that long range video.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I wanted to do it at the show, but we were like limited on the show podcast.
Right.
And then like connecting after it just got hard. So
Right.
like it was hard to connect kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, you blew
Like
up on us.
reconnect.
Blew up.
Well, we talked at a couple gatherings with mutual friends.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of mutual friends from LA of hunting. And which is hilarious. And so I'm glad it finally happened, man.
Yeah, man. No, I'm glad. Won't be the last.
Yeah, I want to do it more, especially now like we're comfortable and
Yeah, man.
we'll just
We'll have some good topics to come on. We'll kind of be like, all right.
I want you guys to be like, I got some shit I want to get off my chest. You know,
I'm driving over today. We're like, let's go. Let's do it.
Kurt, I need you. I'm coming over. It's like, all right,
We need,
Eric,
like-
Doug, get here.
Yeah.
Chris is pissed.
We need like a video of like Chris just roasting us shooting our bows like on the form and
That'd be
everything.
funny too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Let's do that. Pick apart what we're doing wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can handle that.
I probably need that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I probably do actually.
Hurt my logo. You shoot. He's like,
Just spits it.
I leave. I get my truck and go.
He doesn't say a word. He just jumps in the truck and leaves. Like, where the hell is he going?
call yourselves bow hunter.
Crossbows. Yeah.
Yeah.
One word. Crossbows.
Yeah, air bows are for you boys.
Buy yourself a rifle, you idiots.
Yeah. Now that you know you have our platform for venting, you can just build them frustrations and just dump
Write
them
it down.
on us.
All right.
Write
Take
them
some
down.
notes.
Yeah, get us one of the manila folders just full of just
Hate.
hate.
Topic.
Well, hate in the beginning and turn around for
Yeah,
positivity
there
in
we
the
go,
second
there we
half.
No, that's good.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, everybody, thank you for tuning in, listening, watching, all the good stuff. You know what to do. Go shoot your bow and shoot it like Chris B. How's that? We love you. Peace.